Hello, hello. Hey, Pressel. We have 42 days left until launch. I did a lot of work yesterday, like a lot. And I've got some updates here. Yeah, let's see. We're down to 113 issues. Maybe even got lower than that. I'm not sure. No, 113, which is pretty good. I ended yesterday's stream at 126 or so. So now we're at 113. I applied for the Twitch front page on launch day. I got someone to test the Portuguese translation. They saw a Steam post that I made saying like, hey, if you speak one of these languages natively, please reach out to me. And they did, and they played through all of story mode and left some suggestions, I think. I haven't looked into that a little bit more yet, but I need to. And what else? I translated the Steam pages. So now if you go to Skeleseller and click language, like German, for example, this is all LLM text right now, but eventually I'm hoping some humans will look at it. And same thing up here with this little blurb. So I think this will really help. This will signal to players that it's available in their language. Andrew, Aaron Murray, and Flair. Didn't miss the start of the stream this time. No, you didn't. Eventually, well, the eventually being in the next like week or two. I don't have concrete plans for that yet. There is one thing I was kind of curious about, and maybe people can chime in on this and maybe not. I don't know if it'll be representative, but okay, here's the German page, but you see there's English text in the trailer. And if we look at this, there's English text in the screenshots and there's English text in these videos like poison, I need an antidote. How important do you think it is to change the media here and not just the text? Because it's not much. Okay. It's not trivial for me to go find all these new screenshots and like, you know, set up this scenario in German and then in French and whatever else. Although once I've set it up, I can hopefully just toggle the language over and over and it should be fine. But I think it's also probably pretty hard to automate like collecting videos like this. So yeah. Anyway, what I'm thinking is in March, if I'm like super stressed out, it's March 14th. I'm like, okay, I've done everything I can for launch. This is the kind of task I could maybe work on because there's nothing I could mess up here, right? If I take the wrong video, I just don't upload it and then it's in English. So yeah, I have no clue how important it'd be. Yeah. So I was talking to Hideo about French and he said French people would generally be very concerned about the in-game language that's used. So if you had something that said settings and you were in the French version, they'd be like, okay, that's sloppy. But that they might not care about it in the store page. So yeah, it kind of makes me think it's probably not super important. But yeah, so I worked on this stuff yesterday. I also probably closed some bugs and whatever. Yeah. Oh, I also ended up playing the game a decent amount. I beat story mode again. I'm like, well, it is fun to play. I might as well just play. I think this is the kind of game though that while there is some replayability for story mode, I don't think there's a lot. You can make some different decisions. You can try things in a different order. But in general, you're kind of playing the same way. And a lot of it is the novelty of having played before, or of not having played before, excuse me. Players probably like 97% of the time can comprehend a few basic words. Yeah. Yeah, it was more so just would it look unpolished. Like if I went to a website, I don't know, let's say I went to, this, and I saw, okay, a modern interactive learning experience. I'm like, okay, that's my language. I can understand that. And then I look at these screenshots and they're all in French. I'd be like, uh-oh, what if there's going to be French when I go check out these courses or something? So yeah, that's the kind of thing that I'm more concerned with is someone shies away from getting it. Except Alton. Marching toward Brickville. Okay, so see if right-clicking causes the button to stick. Oh yeah, this is the last thing that I have. I mentioned that this button is sticking. I used some compressed air on it, and it got slightly better, I think. But it still doesn't feel totally right, so I just want to keep an eye on this today. The warranty is for 2 years. Yeah, it is still sticking. Okay, never mind. I should just RMA this thing. RMA my mouse. And I'll write this. Left click seems so much more responsive. I want right click to be that way. Ooh, Flare, big spender. I'd leave that for the less important to-dos. Yeah, same. That's what I plan on doing. Or you could return and buy a better one. If you know of a better one, I don't mind checking it out. Because I don't necessarily mind returning this, but I did a bunch of research over the course of like a year. And the only thing that looks like it's maybe better is the Razer Naga, and I'm not going to buy from Razer. So if you have a suggestion that's not Razer, then yeah, I would take a look. All right, the first task we have for today is actually one that I don't know how complex it's going to be, which is we want to support Steam Cloud. I don't even know how we test this. Okay, let's look at the documentation for this. Steam Cloud, Steamworks documentation. Overall, I'd recommend a mouse with 2 buttons on the side. I see. So I just buy like 6 of those mice and then just use the mouse that has the buttons I want on it. All right, in brief, automatically stores files from your game on Steam servers so your players can log into Steam and access their saved games from any computer. This sounds like it should be pretty easy then, if that's all it's doing. Configuration of file paths required on Steamworks website. Alternatively, API calls required from the game code to Steamworks for the game to enumerate, read, delete, or write files to Steam Cloud. Interesting. Okay. Steam Cloud provides an easy and transparent remote file storage for your game. Files specified in the auto cloud configuration or written to disk using Cloud API will automatically be replicated to Steam servers after the game exits. Interesting. If the user changes computers, files are automatically downloaded to the new computer prior to the game launching. Game can then access the files by reading them through the Cloud API or reading them directly from disk as usual. Avoid machine-specific configurations such as video settings. Okay, yeah, they even write this here. Interesting. Hey, Cuddlefish. And welcome to Discord as well. The Steam client does the work of ensuring that the files are kept synchronized across all computers. Users can globally disable Cloud Sync in the Steam settings. Okay, sure. Users can also disable Cloud Sync on a per-game basis. Also, sure. Notes and best practices. It's important to remember that Steam will synchronize user Steam Cloud files for your game before and after every session. Any matching files which change during the session will be uploaded immediately afterward. If your game writes very large files or many small files, then this may cause a noticeable impact on the user's internet bandwidth and also delay. Okay, this is not the case. We have tiny files. Let me see how big they are in actual usage. So save, CM runs, and local settings. Total of maybe 26 kilobytes. Yeah, that's tiny. As a general rule, smaller files will work better if the save state for a given user can be split up into different categories, things which may change frequently and things which may not change. We recommend using separate files. That way unchanged state. Yeah, okay, that sounds fine. Absolute limits are, yeah, we're not hitting those. Save file paths. When deciding where to write your save files, be sure the path will be unique for the current Steam user. This doesn't really make sense to me. When deciding where to write your save files, be sure the path will be unique. Is this on Steam's side of things that I specify where it gets saved? Because I thought that should be completely opaque to me. So then it would be where I save them on disk and I save them with a Steam ID. If I did that though, then people who launch outside of Steam. Okay, this is going to be. It's going to be a little bit difficult. All right, let's write that down because I don't know what this means. Nope, that didn't copy. Store them in the user profile storage under the Steam ID as a directory. Yeah, that's maybe what they mean. The problem with doing that, if we save to say like this /Steam ID /Skeleseller, then someone downloading the itch version would have a different save location based on whether or not they launched while Steam was open. Not have the save smashed. But what I was thinking is if you saved it to just like, I don't know, let's say you just saved it to here, Skeleseller /save.json. It should be that before the game starts, it's going to go fetch from the cloud. It's going to fetch like Adam's Skeleseller save.json. And then someone else plays and it's going to fetch like Bob's Skeleseller /save.json. So That's what I would expect to happen, but then they wouldn't tell you this note at all. So yeah, we'll have to look into that. Anyway, cross-platform. If you ever plan to support this, you should consider this when setting up Steam Cloud. If you plan to read or write files directly from this, then you can control platform sync via this. Default for new files is sync to all platforms. Okay, that's fine, because we do have cross-platform and there's no change to the settings. If you plan to use Steam Auto Cloud, okay, there's a lot I have to learn apparently. Alternative to Steam Cloud API that allows apps to use Steam Cloud without writing code or modifying the game in any way. Only requires that you specify the file groups which you want persisting in the cloud. It'll automatically sync the groups of files when the application launches and exits. Oh, maybe that's what that note means then. Save file paths. Like if you're not using Auto Cloud, you need to specify this. Okay, that might make sense. This page is very long. Jeez. Okay, so I think my questions for right now. Can I use Steam Auto Cloud? Well, can/should I? Hey, Adele. And what if you're on the train without network and the last person who played is not you? A solution without ID would not work, I think. Yeah, but I don't really care about that scenario. Like in my mind, this is not a multi-user thing that I'm trying to accomplish. It's a like you are on multiple different computers. Because one of the things that we had was the idea of save slots in Skeleseller. Yeah, allow for multiple save files. And I haven't done this, and it's not impossible to do. But I don't know if it's going to happen before launch. So yeah, I think the primary scenario I want to do is just one person with multiple computers, but yeah, I'm not sure. Machine specific settings like graphics scale are not saved in the cloud. Oh yeah, they even write that right here. Where'd they put it? I read it, I just don't remember. Oh yeah, they said it as video settings. Yeah, here it is. Avoid machine specific configurations like video settings. Yeah, so I'm not going to put that on there. In which case, maybe I can't even use Auto Cloud. Oh no, I can specify the files. Could probably just specify not to include local settings.json. Do I want to support multiple Steam users on one machine? If so, how will this impact itch players or players? Yeah, I guess like itch players who happen to have Steam open. And what do we do if the player has no network and can't change Steam profiles? So I will say this. I think like Riot is making only games that are much more advanced than Skeleseller. For Skeleseller, it's like let's say nothing roamed in terms of settings. There just aren't that many settings. Like I don't know how many computers people would be playing from, but even if you played from like 3 different computers, here's what you'd have to do. You'd go into the settings. You'd like, well, I'm in Portuguese right now. You'd change a couple of sliders, you'd check a couple of checkboxes, and maybe you'd edit your keybinds. I don't think many people are going to edit their keybinds for Skeleseller. So like, even if none of this roamed, which I don't plan on roaming any of this, I don't think it's a big deal. Oh, that's a problem. How did I not notice that? That doesn't change languages? Oh, man. Yeah. Is there anything else here that's not English? Just this word. Yeah, everything else is, oh man, fine. I don't know how that happened. Oh, because this is computed based on what the slider is set to. Oh, right. Okay. All right, well, that's a minor bug we're going to have to fix. Bug the current FPS limit doesn't auto translate when changing languages. Well, it's a good thing I saw that. I'm surprised I didn't see this earlier. I was testing with French. What's the French word for this? Let's change to French and then just open a game. Oh no, it should have been obvious. All right, I don't know. I don't know what I just missed it. Isn't a good tab. How much time will that take to implement? Might be a nice edge case. I'm not sure if you mean by that. You mean saving device settings? Because I don't plan on ever doing that. But if you mean like multiple users on the same machine without Steam Cloud, I think it'd take like a day probably. Yeah, no, I understand the preference. And I'm saying I think that preference, it's worth clarifying that it's probably for larger games. I meant niche, but yeah, the multi-user thing. Oh, niche edge case. I see. Yeah, the multi-user thing. Yeah, I think it's a nice thing to do. I think for games where, let's say there's replayability in the main mode, I think having something like that is pretty decent. So like Stardew Valley, you might play on like farm 1 and then play on farm 2 and play on farm 3. And this is all just one person wanting to do this. For that, you need save slots because you're not going to want to go like manage individual save files on the file system yourself. For Skeleseller, I'm not as concerned about this because story mode isn't really that different every time. And while bone mode is different, the only thing that really saves are your upgrade points and your best times. Excuse me. And you could just use fewer upgrade points if you wanted to. And for best times, you could delete that file, I guess. Or I could put something in the game to do that. People would buy the same game on multiple accounts. Maybe it's a family PC, but who uses those? It's not necessarily them buying it on multiple accounts, although people probably do. But also there's like Steam family sharing. Maybe, I don't know, it was like two people who they both bought the game and then they like started dating and then living together or something. It could be anything that happened. All right. The default for new files is to sync only the OS setting on the associated auto cloud root path. What? Sync to only, the OS. You set up distinct roots for each OS. All files will be partitioned by platform. Oh my God, this is nuts. If I do this, I need to make sure that the files sync cross-platform. Russell. I don't know what your last message means. Should instead define a single root path, likely for Windows, then create root overrides. That's for, oh man. Files matching this, which also as platform root overrides will sync to all platforms in both the original root. Okay. This is... You must set the byte quota per user and number of files allowed per user. What? What is this stuff? This sounds like it's going to be easy once it's all done. But like really, byte quota per user? Where do I do this? Steam Cloud settings. There's no Steam Cloud settings. Steamworks app admin. Okay, that exists. Steamworks admin. Steam Cloud settings. Where are those? Man, why didn't they just link directly to it? I feel like there should be some like, here's what the link looks like. I can't find this. Well, I guess let's keep looking through this and reading through this, but I wonder if this is a bad idea to do right now. I can't even find this thing though. It says Steam. Oh my God, all my eyes are like flipping out. In the Steamworks app admin panel. Steamworks app admin panel. I don't even know what that means. App admin. Maybe I just search for cloud over here. Configure cloud saves. Okay, I found it. All right, here it is. So byte quota per user. These two settings are required for any Steam Cloud integration. Number of files allowed per user. I don't know. We could just set this in like reasonable amount. It's kind of weird though. Don't forget to click save and then publish. Game has already been released to the public. You can check the box label to enable cloud support for developers only. If developers only mode is enabled, then only the Steam accounts which own a developer comp license. Okay. Well, I don't know if I want to do this on stream. I think there's a bunch of like dev tasks I need to do off stream. Where's the controller support? Yeah. Dev tasks. Steam cloud support. I'll just paste this in here. What happened to the tabbing of this? This got very messed up. Yeah, this got very messed up. Okay, does that work? Yes. Great. Let's copy this in there too. Hey, Goose. And then let's bump this down the list to here. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna let this get to me. So how about this? Should we do this feature? So this is separate from Steam Cloud. And this is kind of what Hideo was talking about. Like, let's say you click story mode, and instead of saved game found, new game, continue game, or maybe this would all be the same. Maybe there'd be something in the settings that says like pick save slot, and there'd be a drop down of like slot 1, slot 2, slot 3. We don't need to allow for like infinite slots or anything. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be that hard to do. And in fact, if we did it that way, we'd also have minimal string changes. We probably have like a label here, a drop down label, and then a tooltip that tells you what this does. Although I guess you'd want to be able to delete save files as well. So maybe it's more than that. Did some design work here. What is this? Let me look at this off screen really fast. This is probably public. Yeah, I think this is public. All right, what do we have? Current save system lets you save a single regular mode run of the game. Load game button will load that single run. What we need to figure out, what we need is to figure out save slots and how we're going to save everything that we need. Is there on a save slot? There's no reason to let you save to a different slot. Most games don't do that. Don't expect people to use save slots often, so we'll give them the bare minimum level of support. Make the first one automatically. Store save files in different subfolders. When saving and auto-saving, we just save to your dedicated save slot. There's no choosing. We don't need to make save slots now. You can change them from the title screen. Changing is essentially the same thing as creating one. There's no need to modify load game to load from a different slot. You just put text saying to change save slots. Do so from the title screen. Yeah, so I think the simplest thing to do is we put some like profile icon on the title screen. Clicking it shows a pretty basic UI with something like slot 1, select, delete, like that. And maybe in this case we'd say, or maybe there'd even be just radio buttons next to them or something. Hey, McNuts. Yeah, maybe it's like that so that you can just select one of them. Yeah, so it would look like this. And then pressing delete would ask if you're sure you want to do this. And what else? Choosing a different slot would reload the whole game. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So the real question, I guess there are only two questions that I have here. One, like, is that good enough? And two, is this worth doing? And I said we want to do this pretty minimally. Like, how many people, maybe the first question is the second one's a more important one. Is this worth doing? Because what scenario am I even trying to accommodate here? Like, you and your kid want to play the game. So you play, and then you're like, well, I was only halfway through. I don't want my kid to finish my save file, but I don't want to delete it. So I'll switch to save slot 2. I mean, maybe you'd want to name these things. I don't want to do that. Maybe it shows the last played date. Yeah, is this worth doing? Like, who is this for? And how many people have asked for it? Oakleus said they did. Yeah, so one person mentioned it. I don't know. I'm so torn on this. Because in terms of length of time to do this, I don't think it's going to be that hard. All right, let me just put this here, at least. Hey, Ski. We had some complaints about people having one shared computer, but both of them wanting to play. Yeah, I'm sure there are going to be some people who fit in that category, but is this something I should do before launch? Should I wait for people to actually ask for that and then be like, hey, we added save slots? The other thing, too, is anyone who already played and has demo data, this might break them. I wonder if we care about that. I guess I'll write that down over here. This shouldn't make too much of an impact. Does this impact already saved demo data when people buy the full game? I think it's a wait until after launch IMO. Yeah, so let me write down my design. New design after thinking about this some more. Hey, Puelo, is bone mode tied to this? I could see people wanting to try a different build but not lose their current progress if it even saves in there. So bone mode probably would be tied to this. As far as trying a different build, you can always just click refund and then like try a different thing if you want. So the only thing that really like you can't undo the unlocked perks. So like once you've unlocked 13 of these, you can't be like, let me play a run without this one. This will just show up now. So yeah, that's something, but I don't think that's, I mean, these are all benefits, not negatives. And then you can't undo the total number of points you have. You don't have to spend them all. You could be like, all right, I'm going to act like I only had whatever 5 points. And finally, you can't undo the best times. So if your best time is like 1 minute and 12 seconds, you wouldn't be able to reset that. So those are the only reasons you'd even want a different save file for bone mode. There is one like micro scenario where you started a run and you got like 15 minutes in and hit save. And you're like, oh, I don't want to ruin that run. But it's like runs only last for like 20 minutes. So it's not like, oh my God, I lost my Zelda save file where I had 15 hours in it. It's like, yeah, okay, you lost 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So yeah, I am kind of inclined to say that this isn't worth doing for launch, but you know, let's write down the design for this. we would add a profile / users. We would add an icon to the title screen indicating profiles or save slots. Clicking that icon would show a pretty basic UI. Something like this. Playing on a shared computer, playing on a shared device. You can switch save files, something like this. I don't even know if we need that. So clicking, oh yeah, there'd be radio buttons here too. Clicking a radio button would select that save file, which would likely have to reload the whole title screen so that bone mode either shows or doesn't show. Pressing the X would ask if you're sure you want to delete the save file. It would be time gated so that you can't accidentally double click it. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Hey King Woods, what's the learning curve on that keyboard? I talked about it pretty extensively in this video, which you don't have to watch necessarily, but I would say for typing in English, it's on the order of a small number of weeks, maybe like one, maybe two, something like that. It depends on how well you typed before. And for coding, it's on the order of a small number of months, maybe like 1 to 3 months. Just explaining they can go to this folder and just rename the save file was good enough. The issue for us was that wasn't an option, but for Skeleseller, that should be fine. Yeah, it might be. Maybe I should write these notes down. And hey, DevDad and neural net. All right, so some other notes. One, I don't think this is worth doing for launch. Only one person has asked about this, as far as I know. And yeah, so we should probably wait to see until there's demand. Oh yeah, if we add this after 977, then we may need to migrate user data. When we detect that the save version is X and the current version is Y. What else did I want to write here? We can always publish a workaround, which is to copy your whole save folder. Hey, wait a second. Is that localized? Click this to open the Skeleseller folder. Click this to open. Auto translate mode is 1. I think that means it is localized. Wait, why didn't I find it in another file then? Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Yes, good, because I want to keep that. Super useful when you're experimenting. The ability to freeze a state and explore in a different save makes for more fun. Did the same manually in Silksong. I mean, experimenting all depends on the game, right? Like if you're playing Tetris, the only thing that saves is probably your high score. And maybe in the newer Tetris is something like profiles. So like experimentation in Tetris doesn't involve manipulating saves. In Skeleseller, it doesn't really either. Like there's story mode and there's bone mode. Story mode is maybe like 3 to 5 hours. Now, granted, I could see, oh, maybe I want to play through again and not delete my old save file. But bone mode, the scenarios are like 20 minutes. So, yeah. Well, like I said, if enough people request this, I don't mind doing it. I just don't want to do it ahead of time and then find out, oh, only like 2% of the player base actually cared. And most people, it doesn't matter. Hey, Phil. So I don't think it's worth doing for launch. Only one person has asked about this as far as I know. Wait to see if there's demand. If we add this after 977, we need to migrate user data. You know, just publish a workaround, which is to copy your whole save folder. It's not pleasant on something like a Steam Deck, but it would still work. Hey, Remy. And then the last thing I want to write is, there isn't a huge reason to want separate save files. I could see multiple story mode runs being a reason, but bone mode scenarios don't last for too long. Yeah, let's see what people say. I'm torn on this. I'm so torn on this. Because if we do this now, yeah, there's one benefit of doing it now, which is this thing. Benefit of doing this before launch is that we avoid this becoming a problem. All right, yeah, very torn. Hey, Balsa Plane, how you doing? Long time no see. I don't think sitting on this for longer is going to help me make a better decision here. I think we should just close this. Yeah, let me write one more note in here. And any things to verify. Bone mode either shows or doesn't show based on whether you've unlocked it. Data within bone mode synced correctly. Upgrade points, which upgrades you chose. Number of unlocked upgrades and best times. And saved towns show correctly. Story mode would show that you have an ongoing game, and bone mode would show if you have an ongoing scenario. Just one more note. All right, I'm going to close this for now. I don't feel great about it. Yeah. All right, well, let's take care of some of these things. These are easy and will make me feel better, I think. By the way, this stuff is kind of bound to happen. These are tough decisions. Also, I worked a lot yesterday and I probably shouldn't have. But I just felt like, man, I'm on a roll. I want to do more. So yeah, let's do some of these. These are pretty simple. I hope this is simple. So show an exclamation mark over the tavern when there's a quest that you can accept. And we already mocked this up. So all we need to do is just show this thing or not show this thing. So let's go into the... Oh yeah, I was testing something with Italian there. Let's go into the tavern. The tavern has this perks board here, right there. So now we instantiate in an available action indicator. Where is it? Why can't I see it? It's apparently there and it's set to autoplay. Oh, that's strange. Do I see it in the NPC scene? Here it's turned off. But if I turn it on, it still doesn't show. What? Huh. That's strange. I mean, if I click a different frame or if I hit the play button here, then it shows, but autoplay is on. So I don't know why. All right, well, I guess we just hit the play button. I don't know. Yeah, sure, fine. Okay, so where would you expect to see this? Above the bulletin board? Yeah, probably. Can you even click the tavern? I don't even remember if you can. Yes, you can. But still, it highlights the bulletin board. So yeah, let's put it on the bulletin board. That's what the mockup had anyway. So now let's make this be 0.5. And then just move this up a little bit. That's probably pretty good, right? Yeah, that's probably pretty good. Okay, so now stop that and hide it and do that. Now we go into the tavern, and only when you have a quest do we show this. So let's go fetch that. Private available action. That's not a thing you can get? What is it? Does it because it doesn't have a script? No, it doesn't. So it's just a node 2D. Node 2D available action indicator. Cool. So now that gets hidden by default. Now we want to do something like private void set available action indicator visibility, I guess. So at some point we're going to do dot visible equals is visible. And then we need to set this. So yeah, what is it? That it's visible if you're not on a quest and you haven't completed all the quests. And that's it. Easy. Okay, now we need to set this when we initialize or when we load or we accept a quest. Or complete a quest, I guess, or accept. Yeah, complete or accept. Quest completed. And now where's quest accepted? Probably set quest. All right, thankfully this is a pretty easy set of scenarios to test. ALT. Let's try this out. So I'm going to make a new game. We should see the exclamation mark as soon as I build a tavern. Nice. And it should just play forever. Yep, good. Okay. So now I'm going to click this. And as soon as I hit accept, it should stop. Good. Now if I save and load in this state, it's still not there. If I complete the quest, though, it shows up again. And then if I save and load in this state, it's still there. Yeah. And I accept it. Okay, cool. It's not showing. So we got to go through all the quests to make sure that it doesn't show at the very end of this. Looks good. We should probably restart the animation when we do this so it doesn't like replay in the middle of it. This is the final quest, I think. So now it doesn't show up anymore. Yep. And if we hit save and load. All right, cool. Yeah, that was easy. So the only other thing I said I wanted to do is replay the animation on it, which we don't have an easy way of doing, if I recall correctly. This is an animated sprite 2D. So if we save it as an animated sprite 2D, then we could do this just fine. Yeah, so get that. And now if is visible, available action indicator dot stop and then play. I don't know if stop resets it to 0. Stop's currently playing animation. Animation position is reset to 0. Yeah. Okay, that should do it. Let's make sure that doesn't mess up. Because if we ever call set visible, well, I guess what we could check is, was it already visible? So that we know we're making it visible and then we don't have any problem. Yeah. So we just do this down here and check if available action indicator dot is visible. Visible? Yeah, let's do is visible in tree. So if it wasn't visible and now it's made visible, then we stop and play, then we set its visibility. Sounds good. That should do everything. It's a really minor touch, but as you can see, it didn't take too long to code. And I think it is kind of nice. We already had an indicator in the menu. The quest button turns green. And now we will also have an indicator in the world. So now it starts. If we do this, it's going to start up again from the beginning. Perfect. We do it again. Starts up again from the beginning. Yeah, nice. We save and load. All right, pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool. Add this to tavern when quest is available. Fixes 987. Okay, done with that. Next, table highlight. Oh yeah, I wanted to look into this for a very long time. We have one table in the game where this is a problem. And I don't know why this is a problem, but you can see this little white box extends beyond the background. And weirdly enough, no one's ever commented on that. Like if I were playing a game and I saw this, I'd be like, oh, look at that. And then I'd move on. I mean, it's not a game-breaking bug, but it does look bad. And I suspect, without having looked into this, that this is a Godot problem. So I'd like to make a minimal repro in a new project. So let's do that. New window. Create table highlight repro. Now, granted, this is a little bit presumptuous of me because I've done nothing to verify if it's my fault or not. And I'm just kind of assuming that it's not my fault. Where's the code folder? Oh, it's in here. Yeah, okay, select. All right, no git and edit now, sure. Kind of looks like the paper is wrapping around it. I don't get that impression. But also nothing else in the game does this, so it is inconsistent. If you look at the padding on the left versus the right. So the background is a 9-panel or 9-patch rectangle, whatever they call it, which means it can stretch infinitely. So I think, like I said, that it's a Godot problem. But yeah, let's find out. So how do we do this? We go get any 9-patch background. I don't want to include ours in the final repro, but let's include it in the current one. So let's go figure out what that is to begin with. It is a tooltip, and the tooltip has this background, which is what? Panel container, panel, here it is. What is this called? Scroll2. Okay, yeah, I did not know what that was. Scroll2.png, we got to go find that now. Assets, UI, Scroll2. Okay, so now we copy this into here. In fact, we could just drag it over there. Good. All right, so now we make a panel container. I guess let's put it under here, panel container. And then we set the theme, style, panel, new style box texture. We got to set all the same things that we had. So quick load, scroll2. And now what do we set the other things to? 14, 14, 14, 15, and draw center. So 14, 14, 14, 15. Okay, now we put in a bunch of stuff under here. It's just a tooltip, so it's got a table, which is a rich text label. So we put a rich text label under here. Add child, rich text label. Make this BB code. And then let's just copy the BB code from whatever this is. What is this? Oh, I don't have it anymore. Where is it? Yeah, here it is, improved holy link. So let's just save that. So go into improved holy link. And here we have form skill table. So let's just print this out. Whoops. There we go. So this is going to spew out a whole bunch of BB code. And then we just copy paste it. And then we have our minimal repro, I think. Because I'm assuming the problem's going to occur over there. Here we go. So copy this over to here. And then set this to fit and set this to a little bit larger. The exact size might matter. The grab handle is like way down here. Huh, it actually doesn't happen here. Oh, the font is different too. Oh, I wonder if this is a font problem. Thanks, Balsa Plane. Oh, man. All right. We got to probably change the font then. Maybe that is jutting beyond us. Or maybe it's because this is bold. No. The bold would already be happening in this too, right? Also, technically maybe this is recurring over here, or sorry, occurring. But so this is like main.tsn. But maybe I need to run the game for it to show. No, it doesn't happen that way. I wonder, oh, you know what we should try? We should just copy paste it into Skeleseller and see if we can repro this outside of the game. So let's just paste it here. We don't even need to do anything special. Yep, there's the problem. Okay, so if I change the font, does this get fixed? Normal font we set to, sure, this. Yeah, it still happens. And then what? Bold font we set to the same thing. Quick load, this. Yeah, so it's not a font issue, or it's a font issue for both of the fonts. This looks really grainy for some reason. Not sure why. Hey, Luke. I'm doing pretty well. We're making some progress today. So can we delete the fonts entirely that I have from here? New system font? Yeah, I guess so. Whoops, that's not what I meant to click. New system font. Wait, that's not a system font though. That's the Skeleseller font, right? Is it? I don't actually know. Yeah, it's the Skeleseller font. I guess I'd have to load in. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Is it the font you designed? Not one that I designed, but that Quickie Joe designed for the game. But I want to set this to something like pretty basic. I guess we have panel, margin, VBox container. I should probably set those things up too. The margins are 4444. Okay, let's go do that. So we added a margin container under here. We set it to 4444. We put this under there. Nothing changed. We add a VBox container under that. We put this under there. Nothing changed. Is there something else in the VBox container or the margin container? We changed the mouse input. That shouldn't matter. And here we changed the mouse input. Otherwise, nothing. And in the label, did we do anything special? Fit content is on. Word wrap is set to word. Scroll active. Okay, I should probably try to make all those things match. Scroll active here. That didn't change anything. Shortcut keys, tab size, word. That changed things very slightly. The rest of that all looks pretty much the same. Layout has 2 changes. What did we change? Custom minimum size. Oh, maybe that's it. And clip contents is off. Aha! There it is. Aha! So we need to set this to clip. But then that might cause a different problem. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's going to break this. Okay, I think I understand what's going on now. We just didn't give this enough width to render this. But because clip content is off. Okay, I see. I wonder what we do about that. Because I actually do think this is a Godot bug. Hey, Journey. All right, so if we don't have a theme for this, I think it should be okay. So if I delete the... Oh, whoops, wrong game. It's supposed to be over here. So if I delete this, it shouldn't matter, right? And then turn clip off, yeah. But it's not super obvious, so maybe let's add in a style box flat. And just give this a color of something probably pretty dark because the text is light. So what is this? Let's go here toward the dark side of things and make it like a bluish color. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Except for something's wrong, isn't it? I mean, I guess you can see that this is going beyond the bounds, but I wanted to make it more obvious. I think it's only the font that does that. Is there a reason for me to do this? Because I don't know for sure that this is a Godot bug. Like, clearly it has to do with clipping this. Maybe I just increase the minimum size of this. Hey, Mitch. Yeah. Because we could increase this, and then there also wouldn't be a problem. If we change how word wrapping works, does that change anything? Word smart makes it take a different amount of space from just word. Hmm. Hmm. And we can't set the parent to clip, can we? How does it show up for you? I'm assuming it's the Mac one. It looks like this. I mean, I want clip off here. But then we extend beyond the VBox container that this is in, and even the margin container, apparently. If I set the margins really big. Okay, so if I turn off the margin container here, this is not a problem with margins. This is a problem with the VBox container. So we can just delete the margin container. In fact, then it looks even worse. Yeah, so now I think it should be apparent if I were to turn this into... Oh, I keep doing this in the wrong game. Yeah, now it's super obvious. And then we want to change that highlight color. So I just want to make this like more legible. Let's go fix this. In fact, we don't even need this here, right? We can just delete that. Yeah, that works. Yeah, that works. And then we just want to change the color of this. This is set to linen. Let's make it like a dark green. It's going to look ugly, but at least be legible, I think. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and now you can see that it expands beyond this. So that's because we're inside of a VBox container. If we didn't put this inside a VBox container, no, it still happens. Aha. Interesting. I mean, I could file an issue on this, but yeah, I probably should. Like I said, you could just increase the minimum size of this thing. Oh, that doesn't have an impact now? What? Oh, no, you can. It just needed to be like way bigger. But it doesn't actually get fixed until it's... Oh, so it has to do with there being spaces here. Interesting. Huh. What if I just didn't set this? Huh. Hey, Molback. It's going well. I don't know if you saw the note I left on the translators thing, but I'm trying to get the Steam pages translated, and I'm looking for a volunteer to tackle the translation for German. From what Kevin said, it took him like less than 5 minutes to do it. I don't know if that's to be expected for every language, but yeah. Would you mind taking a look? Should I ask one of the other 3 German translators? And you don't have to, yeah, you don't have to commit. Still trying to figure this out. What am I? So this is... It's a problem with clip. What do we do for Skelisellers? What I'm trying to figure out. Like if we took this outside of here, like I want the VBox container anyway. Then clipping works. But that's because I also increased the minimum size and then it wouldn't work here. I can do it. Is it like today urgent? No, it's not today urgent. Okay, I'll follow up on that. All back. They could handle this, just not all that soon. Thank you. Okay, yeah, I really appreciate that. That'll be great. All right, well, I'm still not totally positive what the best solution is here. So I think maybe we just file a bug and see what people say. Because this has clip set. If we have clip on, it fixes this, but then we potentially run into an issue here where it gets clipped. So like we don't want clip on. And then we end up with this extra space. Okay. Yeah. So let's delete scroll to from here. Let's delete icon.svg. Why did that not get deleted? There we go. And then this could just be the root. It doesn't matter. That way the scene tree is as simple as possible. All right. Let's go make a new issue. Oh yeah, I should probably try this in the newer version of Godot too, right? Yeah, I probably should. All right, so what do we even call this bug? Well, where's the dark green coming from? Table, rich text label, table background color. Rich text label, table, BB code table background color can extend beyond the parent. I mean, isn't that the whole point of clip? Did I work in a video game company before? Technically, yes. But I haven't ever talked about which company, and it was only for about a year. No, not Google. Can extend beyond. I mean, I guess it's the parent in this case. Do we even need a panel container? What if I just copy this and put it in its own scene? I guess there'd be no way to know that this is extending beyond what it needs to cover, right? Extends beyond parents' bounds. I have a degree, yeah. I have a command that kind of talks about this. All right, tested versions. So we definitely know that it's reproducible in this version. That copied it, right? Reproducible in... And I should test it with another one. System information is Sequoia 1561. Mac OS Sequoia 1561. Issue description. It doesn't... Do you need Dutch? No, I don't need Dutch. Apparently, most people who speak Dutch who play video games are fine playing in English. It doesn't do it outside the panel container. Are there other containers you could try to see if others do the same? Maybe, but we need a panel so that it looks like that papery background. I think the padding is the issue. If you remove the padding, I assume it works. So the fix would be to remove the left and right padding. I'm not positive because that's cell padding and it's going beyond 2 pixels outside of this boundary. Like that's more than 2 pixels. And I guess if we just shrink this, we'll see it go even more beyond. Maybe not. Maybe that's actually 4 pixels is going beyond. Yeah, let's try deleting the padding then. All right, so padding equals 2222. So we're going to delete it on all of these and then plug that in over here. Aha. So it is related to padding. Good call, Ski. Huh. I guess we could get rid of the padding on just the cells that we highlighted, maybe? How are you paying the rent? Savings? So yeah, savings and a combination of my wife has a job. Because yeah, I'm not pulling enough money from Twitch to pay for that. All right, so can we just delete the padding over here? I don't know what this is going to do. It's going to mess up the alignment. I love your life. I mean, I love my life too. I recognize that I'm lucky. I've also worked pretty hard. I think there's a lot of privilege that went into being able to still do this despite working hard. Okay, so yeah, something has to do with padding here. I think it's still worth filing an issue. Uh-oh, we can't. Close, don't save. So if I set the padding to something larger here, like 20, 20, 20, 20. Then this would extend by too many pixels. Oh, wait. Oh, darn it. I didn't mean to do that. No, weirdly enough, it's always that number of pixels. What? Can you just remove the left and right padding on the first and last elements? I might be able to. Was she supportive of you leaving Google? Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to go into too much context here. So I think I'm just going to stop there. I'm not totally sure what I'm not sure what I'm doing over here. All right, so cell padding on the first and last element. I mean, if you're fixed, not the bug report. Yeah. Well, I'm not even sure that I'm like doing this correctly for the sake of a bug report. First and last element. So that'd be level. Man, this is just so hard to understand. Because like we have a row of this stuff. And then we have the values. This is 0, 15, 0, 0. Yeah, so everywhere that has cell padding starts a new... Wait, no, that's not true. Yeah, it's just this. So how, is this working now? We have the headers. We have a row of values. We have a row of values. And we have a row of values. Yeah. Yeah, and then we have the end of the table thing here. Okay. So if we space it out like this, well, this might have broken things. Yeah, because maybe it doesn't like this spacing. No, it renders the same. All right, so let's add in the panel container that we had from before. Just copy this whole thing over to here. That did not work. Let's close this and never touch it again. And then take a look at this one and paste in this. And then shrink this. Okay, so this is just the repro that we had, where we can see this extending beyond. And what Ski said is, what if we got rid of the padding on the first and last cells? So we get rid of this. And this. This is just for the very first row that I've done it so far, but I want to see what this looks like. Oh, but then it's going to look bad because there's no padding, right? Okay, so I don't think we can do this. Yeah, I think we need the padding. You can add the padding back to the panel container now. Oh, you're saying put in the margin container that we had here? And then put this under here. And give this 4444. Yeah, I think that should work. Although now we're exceeding the margin container. But I haven't done this. I haven't gotten rid of the padding on the other one. So let's delete the padding from the other ones. So if I search for this. Huh, that did not find this one. Oh, because of what I searched for. Okay, yeah, I see. Got it. Okay, so now we delete the padding on these. And then we delete the padding on the end of those. So here, here, and here. Oh, we only need left and right padding to be deleted. I hate this. Ugh. Okay, so we put all the padding back so that it looks like how it used to. And then we just delete the top and bottom, rich text label, BB code. This table layout is so weird. I mean, I think the table layout looks fine except for that background bit. So how do you fill in padding? Is it top, left, right, down? Left, top, right, bottom. So we want to null out values 0 and 2. Okay. Yeah, so I want it on the first and last ones. So there. There. So 0, 0, copy. Wait, now it's stopping short? What? Hold on. What does this look like in the game? I guess it always stopped short, so I guess that's not a problem. Yeah, maybe that is how we do this. All right, well, first of all, let me give a point to Ski. And then let me figure out what we're actually doing here. So, yeah, this does pretty much look fixed. And now we should be able to shrink this to any size. We don't have clip. Yeah, we don't have clip on. Wow. Yeah, wow. Also, I wonder if 300 pixels is enough for some of these languages. Because, like, what if there's some super long German word? I guess it just get truncated in the middle of this, like that. So in English, this was bad. But, yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen in a lot of places. Okay, so let's copy this. And we'll say that this is working. And then should we still file an issue for this? I don't know. I really don't know. Glad she supported. Oh yeah, me too. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with how things are going in general, and I'm glad that I'm able to do this. And yeah, it definitely didn't have to work out this way. All right, so we don't want the margin container here for the repro. We just want this and to shrink this a little bit. And then we save this, which I guess was already over here. This is with 2020, 2020, though. I don't want that. Yeah. Padding adds to the size with the clip contents doesn't work, so I'm not certain if that's a bug in Godot or if it's intended. The other thing, too, is by filing this, I think this is going to be a very confusing issue to look at. Although maybe not. Also, I don't think the bold actually matters here. I should delete everything else that I can delete. Is UI vector based? No, it's all pixel based. Hey, Syntonic. Excited to play Skeleseller when it launches? Thanks. Yeah. It's soon. How are you doing? How have you been? All right, we're going to delete all of the bold from here. and just see if it still repros. Yeah, it does. Okay, because that way we just trim down on how much stuff is there. Also, technically, we could delete an entire column from here. Like, if I delete Fortitude bonus, it shouldn't cause any issues. And that way there's just that much less to look at. Yeah, so if I delete from here all the way over to here. So Fortitude bonus was at the 0, 25, and 50. So 0 is here. 25 is here. And 50 is here. All right, should still repro. I messed up. What did I do wrong? Cell, center, Fortitude, center, cell. Where'd my screenshot go? No, it's just Mitch's sigh emoji. Why? It's the second 0. I don't know if I took the second 0 or not. That one is good. That one and this one. What's a Kirby themed science fair project? Trying to build a giant Kirby to suck up candy. Man, you're gonna have like a whole video game studio by the end of this. All right, I'm somehow still messing this up. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. 5%. That 20%, 5% shouldn't be there. No, yes, it should. What am I talking about? No, all this looks fine. Oh, is it because I said table equals 4 and I just need to say table equals 3? Oh, I'm being silly. Okay, yeah, great. Just trying to prune the repro down still. Okay, so now we just shrink this table. It should still cause a problem. Yeah. In fact, we could probably get rid of one more of these. We could probably even just have one column entirely. So I could just say table equals 1 and then just have damage reduction up here. Yeah. So make this a lot easier to look at. Did I mess something up here? I think I did. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. There's our minimal repro. Yeehaw. We did it. Okay, now we go find the folder that this is contained in. So open in File Manager and copy this over to here. And where'd that go? Then we just look at this and we have to delete the .godot folder and probably editor config. And then compress this and put this down here. Okay, issue description. This is possibly quite particular. If you have, well, I guess let's put steps to reproduce. See minimal MRP below, but there's very little to the scene, so I'll copy paste it here. Scene hierarchy, panel container with a rich text label under it. The rich text label has fit content, clip off, and this text. I wonder if BB code is a highlightable thing, syntax highlighting thing. Maybe BB. Wow, that really worked. Okay. Wow. Very little scenes. I'll copy paste it here. Well, I shouldn't draw rectangles in here. I should just put a text thing saying, I wouldn't expect this background to extend beyond the panel container. I was late. Did you look at text highlight H padding? No. Text highlight draws color behind text. This can be used to highlight text, except same value as color. By default, there is a slight padding, which is controlled by this and this. Set it to 0 to avoid potential overlapping issues. Well, well, well. BG color equals code name. Okay, so the only BG color we have is here. We just set this equal to 0. If this is the solution, I'm going to feel pretty stupid. All right, it doesn't look like that did anything. What if I set this to 100? It doesn't look like this is changing anything, which means I probably typed it wrong. Oh, wait, because I'm not using it in a BG color thing. I'm using it in a cell thing. Options. See cell options. No, I don't think this is possible for cells. On node? Wait, hold on a second. Text highlight. Where does this go? No, it's just highlight. It's the root node thing. I don't think you can apply this here. Color behind text. No, yeah, I don't think I can use this. I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to format this kind of in a special way. So workarounds, increasing the, well, maybe just like other notes. Increasing the size of the label fixes this. Or the size of the panel, I think. Let me take a look at that. So let's delete this that I added in. All right, so we increase the size of the panel. It's fine. Or maybe just setting word wrap to off. No, that doesn't fix it. Actually, it's kind of surprising that that doesn't fix it. I thought that was part of the repro. So damage reduction doesn't even need to be spelled out. So let's Command Z that a couple times. I can't even do it. I can't do it. Close, don't save. Reopen it. Yeah, so increasing the size of the panel container will work. Turning on clip will not technically work, right? Because then it can clip this stuff too. It can, but not in this particular case, I think. Yeah, you can see it in some places, like right there. We cut off the parenthesis. All right, well, I'll write that down. Setting this equal to true will fix the background color, but can cause the header text to get clipped. This is less obvious in the minimal repro, but it happens in my game. With more headers and values. I'll say columns and values. What other things did I want to write down for this? I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, as a workaround, if I get rid of the left and right padding values and instead use a margin container, it looks better. And that's what I got to do for Skeleseller, I think. Just look at that picture again. Yeah. I really should test it in the new Godot. I don't even know if I have the new Godot. Downloads. No. All right, fine. Let's go get it. Godot, download. We don't even need the mono version of this. I can just download this one. I assume it's very slightly smaller. So it'll take a little less time. So I just open this and then point it at this. It's going to say, do you want to fix it? Yep. And let's see if it repros there. If it doesn't repro here, that'd be very interesting. I would expect it to still repro. Yeah, it does. Okay, and then let's get the reproducible in this too. Hey, Codex. No, this is just me testing something. Yeah, it's probably reproducible in many different areas. Now it says this is required. I'll just say see repro steps. And then I'm just going to delete this because I don't think this is important. All right, now let's just delete that. Gutsy, I mean, really insane. I've been thinking about it. I think if we had enough people testing, it'd be okay. And there would be some benefits we'd gain by upgrading. All right, anyway, yeah, so this is nuts. I don't know if this is even worthwhile as an issue, but yeah, let's go figure out how we can work around this for Skeleseller. So here we can remove this. We can close out of all the other Godot things that we have open. So quit out of this. Quit out of this one. And then in Skeleseller, we don't need this either. Close this. In Skeleseller, we can delete the... Well, there are a couple things we could do here. Yeah, like option 1 is increase the size of the tooltip when we know there's a large table in it. And option 2 is do the padding tricks that Ski mentioned. So let's try the padding tricks, but first let's take a picture of this. I want a picture of the old one, and I want a picture of like a working skill, just so we can see what the differences are. So here's Holy Link, and let's look at anything else with a table that's... Yeah, like this one's fine. So Holy Link and Holy Blessing. All right, so here are the working ones. We'll paste those in. Now we're going to go change the padding. We're going to see what happens here. And we got to modify form skill table. This is going to be annoying. This is going to be very annoying. So where was the working thing that I had? I don't even see it. I think I Oh, here it is. So we just, on the first and final columns, we got rid of left and right padding, but only on the first and final columns. So in here, format strings, values, form table. Aha, padding. Okay. So we go through each thing of content and every single cell gets padding, but now we need to know which column number we're on. Okay, int column number is this. We can replace this thing now. And we want to change our padding. So we say horizontal padding equals column number is 0 or its number of columns minus 1, 0. Oops. Okay, well, yeah, that's correct. Horizontal padding and horizontal padding. Okay, but if it's not this, no, I did this wrong, right? This is 0 and this is padding. If it's the first or last column, set it to 0. Otherwise, set it to, yeah, I think that's right. All right, let's try that. Let's see what happens. I think. Oh, wait. Oh, did I mention the thing about setting the padding? I don't recall if I did. Yes, I did. All right, so continue game, and now we just look at the tooltips, and hopefully they look fine. Oh, that's not right. It's not right at all. How did I mess this up? Because literally the only thing I changed is, oh no, I guess maybe I messed that up. What did this used to say? Num cells seen, % num columns. Oh, but we add 1 there. Ship it. All right, if I got rid of this, if I just said horizontal padding equals padding, I'm guessing it's still going to be super broken. Oh, yeah, because I checked this beforehand. Yeah, right, of course. Of course, because we don't want to increment the row number until we've gone through one whole set of columns. So actually, technically, what we should do is set this to, if the column number is now the final column, num columns minus 1. Where does row number come into play? -1 is the header? Seriously? All right. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So then we can set this back to what it was here. And then that should be it. And we write a comment saying, see this issue. And we never touch this again. Easy peasy. If I save with this character selected, does it load with the paladin selected? No, it doesn't. Yeah, that's it. Problem solved. I think this can actually get a little bit more complex if we want. Because I think we got rid of the padding from here that was pretty important. Can I put this side by side with the old one? Yes, I can. And now what I'd like to see is, how do these line up? Okay, well, I just didn't line up the images, I guess. But this is going to change as we go through, right? Yes. Yeah, so what we could probably do is add padding right on the left column and padding left on the right column. Oh my God. All right, so let's figure that out. So this is going to be left padding. If you're on column, if you're on the final column, then we set it to 0. And then right padding, if you're on the 0th column, we set it to 0. And then we use left and right. It need to be +2 or whatever for the -2 you're doing. Yeah, but it would only have to, I think the way I formulated this is correct. I'm not positive. Wait, did I break this? It's going all the way up to the edge now. Shouldn't there be a margin on this? Tooltip. There is a margin, and it is set to a certain value. So for it to be going all the way to the edge means that this is overflowing still, which means I probably messed something up. Did I do this in the right order? Padding. Left, top, right, bottom. Left, top, right, bottom. Yeah, okay, I set that up correctly. And then left padding, we said if it's the final... Oh, that's wrong. I reversed these. This should be left, and this should be right. Yeah. Yeah. It's still going all the way to the edge. You probably can't see this because I'm covering it with my shoulder, but it's going all the way to the edge. Did it work before this? Like when I just set this to horizontal padding? Or is padding column number equals 0 or that? Set it to 0, otherwise padding. And then just do left and right. Because I don't think it even worked when I did this. So this is going to, yeah, invalidate these lines of code. I don't care about that. And that does look better. Oh, I think I might know what's happening here. I guess any extra padding is going to push this to the side. So what we're really doing is we're shrinking. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah, I don't think I like this. Because this looks okay, but now other ones are going to look like they're too close to each other. So yeah, it's a little bit more of a space here than there is between this, but it's so marginal that it looks like this is all just one column almost. Can we control a table in any other way? V-align, alignment row, cell. Image and table vertical alignment. Cell options. All right, well, option 1 is still on the table, right? Which is just increase the size of the tooltip when we know there's a large table. The problem is we need to do this per language. Yeah, like imagine a language where light rays span the entirety of this space. Yeah, we'd have to check it. Alternatively, we could just increase the tooltip size for all of these. Like, what's the minimum size right now? 300. If we make the minimum size... No, it's only the minimum size that controls this, right? We'd have to turn word wrap off. So let's go get the... Let's get this and paste this in here. Because this is basically our issue that we have here, right? And if I turn word wrap off, I mean, it's still a problem. Oh, and yeah, this would need to be huge because it's got to have no wrapping here for this to work. It's like a 50% increase in size. Hey, Katie. All right, I don't know what the best solution is. Honestly, it's probably just ignore this. Yeah. And maybe I should delete my note about working around this. Although we increase the margins here. That's maybe not bad. No, it still looks pretty stupid, right? What are you working on? I'm working on a very specific problem. You can see in this table that this green background goes beyond this parent rectangle that we have here. And it's because the text doesn't fit. But like, why doesn't it expand this column a little bit to make it fit? And left and right padding 0, that should look the best. All right, let's try that out. So where do we have that function? Here. So everything's set to 0. And then I launch through this, which I want to make sure we don't check this in. So close that. And then I can just change it on the fly. I hope. So here's the margin container. And now we open up a tooltip. And we see... Wait, this actually looks decent. Oh, right, because I crammed together all the text after that, right? I don't like this. All right, let's set this to 2020, 2020. I think I'll take a look. Yeah, so maybe something more reasonable like 8888. It's like, well, yeah, but I want more spacing between these columns. So I think I want this again. Nothing is easy. Also, I guess all of the German translations are done, so I could have just tested this in German the whole time. I didn't think about that. How's that? That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Unfortunately, this makes every tooltip in the game 8 pixels bigger in both directions. Even things like this. So now it looks like there's too much padding on the outside of this. You can do internal extra padding between the inner columns. You just need to adjust that with more margin on the outside. Yeah, as we keep getting to more margin on the outside, though, we're going to run into this. Yeah, like, look at how silly this tooltip looks. It's just for the skill ones that we have a problem, I think. That's why I think it is just a Godot issue. Like, yeah, I think it's a Godot thing to fix. Okay, how about this? Let's go back to what we had originally. So let's not do anything special here. I'll copy paste everything I had. In fact, let's copy paste this whole function. And then I'll revert this. And then I'll just paste it alongside this. Oh, that didn't work. Trying to just comment all that out. There we go. All right, so now we're back to the old code. And we have, yeah, everything in the old code. Now what I want to do is rerun this and then see how other languages look. How the web works as well. Every table needs different fixes for this when using cell padding. Well, I think what they can do here, maybe they can't, is figure out what the size of a column needs to be based on the label within it. No, that doesn't make any sense, right? It's based on the text within it because it's all inside of one label. I'm not sure. And yeah, that's part of the reason I filed this is like, maybe it's a bug, maybe it's not. All right, let's do this. Let's change to German and then save this, save and load. And I guess click grant most things and then save and load again. Okay, so now we can look at all the tables here and see if there's anything like majorly wrong with this. And I assume that if we look through German, it's going to be pretty representative of... All right, none of these have an issue. Now we're starting to get into issue territory, but they're still fine. Also, man, that's crazy. So many letters. But yeah, everything's still good. What are we on? Witch Doctor? Now we go to Warrior. Still fine. Still fine. What is that? Cooldown reduction? Oh my god, it's a gigantic issue over here. Well, I guess if it's a problem in English, it's an extra problem in German. But yeah, none of the other ones seem to have a problem. Yeah, those shouldn't be an issue. It's just the tables, right? And you know what? We could potentially fix this issue with soft hyphens. But in this case, what I kind of want to do is just increase the size of the tooltip, maybe based on how much text is in here. Yeah, maybe we do that. This is all going to eventually make it into a tooltip. Get ability description tooltip. Which is going to go here, get tooltip. Which just returns a string. Alternatively, what I could have done is just put this in a content section and then given it a bigger minimum width. So yeah, we do this. We get the text, and then we call panel tooltip.setText. What we could do is we could change the size of it based on the text. It has a custom minimum size. If I set this to 450, does that make this work all of a sudden? It barely fits at 450. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, well, here's where I think we start using some soft hyphens. So let's go to Weblate and click anything, French, sure, whatever, all strings, doesn't matter. And click the soft hyphen, and now there's one in there, and I should have it copied on my clipboard. So now if I type AB, yep, there we go. Okay, so it's between these two characters. You can't see it, but when I press left and right, it's doing nothing because I'm moving around a soft hyphen, which is otherwise invisible. So now what I do is I go into the German script thing. Oh, it's called D. And then search for the word bonus. No, that's stupid. Let's just search for whatever this actually is. I'm not going to try to pronounce this. So 4-2 bonus. Okay, so now we put a soft hyphen there. And then what's the other one? Where are you? Here. Okay, let's put one there. And that's probably pretty good. Okay, so now when we restart the game, now they'll be hyphenated, I think. Wait a second, what? Why does it say story mode? Is that how you'd say it in German? No, can't be. That's strange. Well, I mean, I guess I do it the other way around. Yeah, I think that's wrong. I think that string needs to be edited. Wonder how that happened. Hey, just for fun. Strange. No, this is read only. Okay, never mind. Not strange. It's because I'm in English. Let's click German. What happened here? Yeah, strange. I don't think this should have happened. I'll ping the German translators about this later. Ping German translators about this string. It looks wrong. And the string is this. I should probably write it here, story mode. All right, hold on though. What was I doing? I was about to reload and then go to... Oh, right. That's not going to work because I changed the maximum size. Yeah, so we got to set this back down to 300. And now, I guess reload. No, I guess reload the whole game. I must be doing something wrong, right? Yeah. What am I missing? Unless there are multiple ones of these. Hmm. Call it story mode in German. Yeah, but I guess the part I don't understand, and again, I don't speak German, so take this with a grain of salt. This was translated by a German person and has modus here. So why would we have mode here? For consistency, shouldn't it use the same word? Or is that... I don't know. But actually, this is something Mullback took that out. So yeah, maybe it is fine. Use the same word. So like have it look like this one right here. I assume the answer is yes, but I'm not sure. I'll just run it by the people on Discord just so that it can be... Yeah, I can just run it by them. Maybe it isn't. I don't know if it should be hyphenated either. Also, for bone mode, would you not capitalize acronyms in German? I mean, this is something I can look up myself. All right. What was I doing? Oh yeah, trying to figure out why those soft hyphens aren't doing anything. I actually just wrote a note about this yesterday. A label couldn't fit the word before the soft hyphen due to its parent container size, so it didn't break any part of the string. I'm guessing that's what's happening here. I don't get it. Arbitrary. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, that this isn't using this. It's only there, right? Yeah, there's only... Okay, let's just change this to put a bunch of 2s at the end. Let me make sure this is even loading the file, because it might not be. So I just put a bunch of 2s at the end. We should now see those 2s in the game. Yeah, we do. So then this definitely has a soft hyphen in there. But it's not breaking. It's got to be due to... It's got to be due to this problem that I talked about, but I don't understand why this is the issue. Label couldn't fit the word before the soft hyphen. It's impossible. Maybe soft hyphens only come into play. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And word wrap smart doesn't cause it to split at the soft hyphen, which would have been nice. It's splitting the S. Yeah, but there's no... I just pressed right 3 times. If I press it a 4th time, it doesn't move at all now. And I press it a 5th time, and it moves to the B. So that's how you know that after the S is the soft hyphen. Do about this. All right, let's stop spending this much time. Let's do this again. Let's have it print this out. And that way I can figure out what's going on. Like, we definitely need to fix this for German. This is a huge problem. All right, so copy paste all this into a new thing just over here. And now figure out why that's happening. So I'm guessing if we just increase the size of this, everything would be fine. And there's going to probably be a point where this actually does split onto a second line. No, it doesn't ever happen. Why does this one split then? Oh, because it's actually 2 different words. Okay. Can you set max width on the container? I know in some places it needs that width to be able to figure out where and how to wrap words. It has a max width that's set from the parent. It also has a minimum width. If we set this to 0, for example, it's just going to pick something. But something's going on here, and I bet it has to do with when we have a table. Like, tables probably don't work with soft hyphens. Table, soft hyphen. One closed issue. Soft hyphen not shown in some fonts. I don't think it's this. Also, this is just the font missing the glyph, right? No, wait, maybe it's not. Font fallback. Wait a second. Hold on a minute. Oh, this is so painful. So what do I do to change this? I can't shrink this. I need word wrap set to word. There we go. Yeah, there's the hyphen's not rendering. I didn't even notice that until just now. Until reading that bug, but I think this is my fault. And I'm not sure how it's my fault. I did not expect this issue to take me this much time. Fonts, Skeleseller regular. We're probably missing it from the font, but I looked into this. General punctuation. Is this a soft hyphen? This is just a hyphen. Uh-oh. Where's the soft hyphen? Non-breaking hyphen. Here it is. Well, I think that's what it is. I'm not positive. Hey, Bums and Hasten, Stella. Is you allowed to eat the hyphen? I didn't even get gold for it. Font. Hyphen. Yeah, non-breaking hyphen. OX 2011. So if I copy this and I just go into Python and I say str equals this, or just s equals that, and now s1 oxad. It's not 2011. Subheading may be fixed in 4.6. I tested on 4.6. And I saw the same issue. I mean, I could just try running it again, I guess. So this is 4.6 Godot. And yeah, it looks like it's still a problem. I wonder if you can shrink this now. No, they didn't fix this issue with the editor layout. That's unrelated to what I'm talking about, though. But yeah, if I change this, yeah, it looks like it's just still an issue over here. Oh, well. Okay, so back to this for a bit. We're not rendering a non-breaking hyphen, but it's because I'm not using the right character, apparently. OXAD. Man, I'm just so confused about this stuff. If I go to Spirit Caller and I find the adventurer name here, I click other languages in French and copy this. Now, this isn't a problem because there's a space, but in German it's a problem because of how long this word is. And I can do the same thing here. S equals that. Yeah, it's OXAD. What is that? Unicode. Soft hyphen. It's different from non-breaking hyphen. Oh my god. Ah! Okay, well then there's another hyphen in here that I'm just not looking at. This is a soft hyphen. This is hyphen en dash em dash. No, there is no non-breaking hyphen. So I just made this up. Is the soft hyphen even? Let me look up soft hyphen. Is it supposed to render at some point? Inserting visible hyphens. Yeah, we're not getting a visible hyphen. I don't know where this even shows up in the font. I guess 0xAD, but like, why don't I see it here? Is it that? Hyphen bullet? Wonder how you'd add a soft hyphen. Or maybe a hyphen is supposed to render as this. And it's not. I don't think so, though. Yeah, there's got to be a way to add a character to a font, right? Oh, it'd be in here. Oh, it's one of these, right? What is this? Soft hyphen. Oh my god, there it is. Well, whoops. Just never set up a character for this one, huh? Okay, that's my bad. I'm going to write this down for the future. I'm not going to do this right now because I'm already knee deep in other problems. Yeah, I'm a Dumbo. Make a soft hyphen for all of our fonts. I should probably write that in here, huh? Soft hyphen, yeah. Soft hyphens aren't rendering. Your font needs to have a soft hyphen character, which is OXOOAD. For example, when using Glypher Studio, you can just copy paste a hyphen glyph into whatever character range contains OXOAD, which for me looks like Latin 1 supplement. I don't know if it's always in there. Make sure to work around this issue. Glypher Studio GitHub issues repositories here, and now I just look for my icon there. Wait, this issue is not related to soft hyphens. It's related to something else. Wait a second, though. Maybe they're... okay. If I'm not mistaken... No, wait. It's because we have it defined. If we didn't have it defined, it would fall back to... Did I close it already? I think I did. Yeah, if we didn't have it defined, I think it would fall back to the system font. But it's defined as a blank space. Let me make sure that's what's going on here. Because, man, this is tricky. So we go to this. And it says white space. If we didn't have it defined at all, it would show up like this, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So the font does have a soft hyphen character. When I hit this, it was because my font had the soft hyphen defined as blank space. If it hadn't been defined at all, then it presumably would have fallen back to a system font. The soft hyphen character is this. Okay. Well, I am still torn on a couple things. One, why? So now we know why it's not rendering the hyphen. It should be. But why is this not splitting at the soft hyphen? I think it's encoding you're currently working on. No. It's what I described this issue as. I'm like nearly positive because I've done a lot of font work at this point now, and I'm pretty much certain that it's because our glyph in this font is just white space. So it's rendering white space. But if it didn't have it defined, it would fall back to a system font, which might have it defined. In fact, I'm not even sure if a system font would have it defined. Like, is there some way for me to test? I'm not going to bother with that right now. But what do we do to get these to show up? Because I suspect this isn't working. And it's probably, yeah, you know what I could do? I could probably just do this. I could probably make this into a rich text label. And then just make a table here. We don't need cell padding or anything. We just say table equals 1 cell. And then copy in that word that we have like this. then slash cell slash table. Yeah, this is our problem, right? No, maybe with fit content it works. What am I missing? Oh, clip is on. What if I turn arbitrary on? Yeah, I think this is a bug. Yeah, I think this is a bug. I can't think of any other explanation for this. I think this just has to be a bug. And there's no issue on this already. If we search for soft hyphen, what do we find? Only the one issue at all. Oh God. All right, I'm sick of filing issues. All right, so how do we show this quickly? I guess let's say there is a soft hyphen in this string. Oh, interesting. Highlighted that. Actually, we could just put one everywhere, right? Yeah. There are many soft hyphens in this string. Yeah. All right, so we paste one there, and there, and there, and there. Yeah, in fact, you can literally see them over here as you shrink the inspector. It's always adding hyphens in. So it's working as intended here, but it does not work as intended in the editor. And if we got rid of the table, it would probably work just fine. Or I just turn off BB code, for example. Yeah, so see, now it's splitting at many, and then at R, and then at there. Yeah, so easy peasy. Okay, let's go file another issue. Oh, man. All right, maybe let's get my prior issue and talk about how maybe they're related. Well, in this particular case, it's actually not related. I guess this has nothing to do with soft hyphens. Soft hyphens don't work in BB code tables. Tested versions. I mean, I tested it here. We can just open up the other one. We don't even need a project for this. All right, so sure, open up this. It doesn't matter. And then just copy paste this into a new rich text label. Rich text label. Paste that there. We need fit content on. And then just turn BB code on. Oh, no, it works here. Oh, they fixed this in 4.6? Huh. Huh. All right. Let's go look at rich text label. And scene GUI rich text label. Okay, yeah, let's go over to that. It's a different font, but the font shouldn't matter. Yeah, the font shouldn't matter. I guess we can confirm that it's not a font thing by just doing this. On the old version of Godot, if I do those same repro steps, so I just load this up. Oh, wait, no. I guess load up this one. This just has to be a non 4.6 project. And then make a new rich text label. Paste that in. Click this, and click that. Wait, this implies that it is a font issue. Oh, God. Oh, wait, no. Word Smart is turned on. Is that why? Oh, interesting. What? So when word wrap is... Hold on a second. What is smart? Behaves similarly to auto wrap word, but force breaks a word if that single word does not fit in one line. Wraps the text inside the node's bounding rectangle by soft breaking between words. I feel like word wrap should allow this to work, and it doesn't. So I have to choose smart for this. This is blowing my mind. So if I just had set this to smart, it would have been fine. But it's not fine. Yeah, it's... Oh, it is working. It's just once you get down to something that's too small, then it does weird things. Oh my God. Oh, I hate this. I hate everything. Oh, man. All right, soft hyphens aren't actually causing line breaks. So, yeah, another potential cause is that you have set to word and not word smart. But that's only for inside of a table? I love your keyboard. Can't imagine the type of this. I like it a lot too. And it is pretty nice to type on. But you do have to get used to it. And I've been using it for a long time now. If we go back to this over here, this is inside of a table. With just word wrap, it doesn't work. But then when it's not inside of a table, it does work. Okay, yeah. So something's weird there. Is with rich text label. Man, maybe this is a bug. I don't know. And BB code tables. So rich text label, I guess like with BB code turned off and auto wrap mode set to word, soft hyphens work just fine. With BB code turned on and auto wrap set to word and no table, I guess. It still works fine. Okay, so there might actually be a bug here. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what Ski just said too. I think there is. I think it's if we have word set and we have this inside of a table, yeah, that it messes up. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Going to turn on. Soft hyphens work fine as long as they're not in a table. With auto wrap mode set to word smart, soft hyphen should work. Oh God. Oh God. There is no being done with this. Okay, so bug report. Soft hyphens don't work in rich text labels. Don't work inside BB code tables in rich text labels. Reproducible in both of these versions. And what's the other version I have here? Mac OS Sequoia. What, 15.6.1, I think? 15.6.1. issue description. So soft hyphens don't cause line breaks inside a rich text label, inside a BB code table within a rich text label whose auto wrap mode is set to Word. Okay, so we're going to take a picture of this. Actually, we should take it in 4.6 just so the UI looks like exactly what we expect. This is what it's set to Word. And let's just do it like that. And let's get our repro string. Steps to reproduce. Add a rich text label. Or I guess just like make a scene with only a rich text label. Set, what is it? Fit content. Set the text to depending on, here are some pictures of the repro. This says it's necessary. Fine, I'll do it. I mean, what does it matter to me, right? So yeah, let's just save this as main. Oh, whoops, I'm in a different repro altogether. Hey, Ramar, I am doing well. How are you doing? We gotta go make a new issue or a new project. So new. Oh, that's not what I meant to click. Create. This is gonna be soft hyphen repro. Yay. Where's select current folder? All right, no git, edit now, sure. So we delete the icon. We don't need this in the repro. And we make a new scene with a rich text label. Paste fit BB code. What is, how do you move the scene anymore? I think they split this up. Select mode is Q, command drag, alt drag is move. No, move selected node. How do you just pan the camera? I mean, I guess we can just press F in this case. Oh no, it still works with middle click. Oh, my mouse button's getting stuck down. Yeah, I need to RMA this thing. Everything is terrible. All right, so we say this is main.tscn and set this to Word. There. That's our whole repro. That's all we have to do. Now we open in File Manager, delete this and this, compress this, paste this over here. Now delete this. All right, so here are some pictures of the repro. And set BB code on, I guess. Copy property path. All right, so repro number 1 is this. There is no wrapping. I should just annotate this separately. God, I don't want to restart that. Okay. When the wrapping mode is Word and BB code is on, you see no wrapping actually happening. Hey Maniac, hey Irad. It's going well. And hey Jost, I'm just kind of stuck in bug territory and I've been stuck here for a while. So in the wrapping mode is Word Smart and BB code is on. Wrapping works. So that's here. We change. Let me just. No. Word Smart. When BB code is turned off, so BB code is turned off. And I think that's pretty much it. What motivated you to use that kind of keyboard? Because of coding? So this was kind of like my pandemic hobby. And I think the stepping stone toward this, did I have a Moonlander? Yeah, I had a Moonlander. I thought I really like the aesthetics of ZSA's keyboards, even though I don't like using the keyboards in general. But I got a Moonlander, and I think this keyboard looks amazing. But it had a couple of problems for me. One is that I have relatively large hands, and I still think that these thumb keys are pretty hard to hit. And it just has a lot of keys. And it just didn't ever feel like I was typing quickly on this thing. So I was like, okay, what if I got a smaller keyboard? And I was just interested in trying it. So there was no like real problem I was solving. I was just intrigued. That's all. They made a keyboard that's pretty similar to the one that I use. So if you wanted like this one, the Voyager, if you wanted a pre-built keyboard that's got, you know, working everything and looks pretty nice. The only issue is this only has 2 thumb keys. And it's got another, what is that? 9 keys on each side. So like, I'd rather have one more thumb key and not all these extra keys. But I think other people probably feel differently. But yeah, it looks pretty sleek. These keyboards are not cheap, by the way. This is $365, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, $365. I have that. I want to donate it to you. No. Please don't. I don't think I'd ever use a Voyager since I have the Corn. And since the Corn has exactly the layout that I want. No. Please. I insist, really. Like, I appreciate it. I do. Like I said, I think it looks cool. I just don't think it would meet my needs exactly. Like I had the Ergodox EZ. I then had the Moonlander. And then I like the look of this. But like I said, I don't think I could get used to not having the extra thumb keys. And I don't want such a large keyboard on my desk. But very, very kind of you. How's the transition? Was it hard? It was moderately hard. I made a video on it. I mean, it like mostly talks about what you're asking about. But yeah, in short, the way I sum it up is like English will take probably like less than 2 weeks for you to learn. But then coding will take probably like 1 to 3 months before you feel comfortable. And yeah, your productivity will probably tank during that time. But then once you get used to it, I mean, you see me using it now. Granted, you may not have seen when I was using a different keyboard. And I would say it looks roughly the same. Just my hand movement is way less now. All right, I haven't finished filing this issue. So let's go check this out. I've written everything down. Well, here's some pictures. So repros, steps, pictures. Yeah. Okay, great. All right, now we link this from here. See this issue that I filed. Great. So now what am I doing? What even caused me to find this as a problem here? Right, that I need to set word smart on our tooltips. And that would fix one of our issues. But then I set this thing back to a different size. Okay, let's just close out of this. Because I can remember how to check a box. What else did we do here, though? Oh, that's kind of funny. The custom minimum size was some very, very tiny number, but not 0. And now it's 0. So this actually saves some space in the file, which is nice. But not what I intended to do. So what I want to do is go over to tooltip again. Hey, next door. And set word smart on. And now let's just take a look at this in the game. Let's close out everything. Whoops. too much stuff open. I don't care. I don't want any of this open. Don't save. Don't save this. I'm using that kind of keyboard will elevate my typing skills. I don't think so, no. And then in addition to learning this keyboard, at some point I learned Colmac. Like I switched from QWERTY to Colmac. I think that was also kind of a mistake. The way that I could see this helping people is potentially if you have pain or strain in your hands or wrists. And if you never learned how to type properly, this will just serve as a reset for you. But other than that, I don't think there's any reason to switch. I think all I did is incur a gigantic amount of like, I need to relearn how to type. And I think I'm still possibly slightly faster with QWERTY after, what is it, 2 years or something of using Colmac. So, yeah. But I was just intrigued. So I figured I'd do it. Okay, this looks a lot better. It's cutting off in the middle of a word, but to be honest, I'm not super concerned about that. And if we wanted to, the thing that we could do here is we could expand it by like a few characters width. So that instead of having a minimum size of 300, we set this to, oh, I didn't even start through this. Okay, then let's try again. Yeah, if we set this to maybe like 310 or 315, I'm not even certain it would work, but let's try it. So let's start with 320. See what that does. No, it does not fix this. Because I think what it's doing is it's giving like 4 pixels to each column and then some for the padding. So I need to like really expand this. So this is it at 350. Yeah, now it looks fine. So 350 would work. What's the lowest number that actually makes it look good? 340 works. 330 works. 325 works. Is this changing in real time? No, I think I need to press enter. I think I haven't been testing anything. Wait, what? I checked 320 and it didn't work. It's working now. Huh, weird. No, I don't think this is doing anything. I think like once it's laid out, it's just laid out that way. All right, then yeah, I can't seemingly change this on the fly. That's a shame. All right, well, we're gonna leave it as it was. This was a lot of work to do nothing. Yeah, a lot of work to do nothing. So what is the default when you set word wrap? Is it set to word smart? Yeah, apparently it is. So we didn't change anything here. And in BB code functions, I didn't end up changing anything. Wow, what a shame. What an absolute shame. And we did need to add in some soft hyphens here, which, I mean, I don't understand German, but this looks like a word boundary, so I think we can probably conclude that that's fine. And there's one other place. If I didn't do this, though, let's revert this. So it's smart wrap, you don't need the padding fixes. I don't think so. But I'm very turned around now because of how much stuff I've been doing. So let's start this again and see how everything looks. Because I also did not add in soft hyphens here. And I might need to do that. So if we just look at this. Yeah, okay. So this is by not adding in the soft hyphens, we break at arbitrary boundaries. And if I put those soft hyphens back in, it doesn't break at the arbitrary boundaries. I'm not actually certain that's true. It's not true. I had expanded the size of this then or something, right? I must have. How else could this possibly have looked the way that it did? Oh, man. This seems to have taken effect immediately. Out of curiosity, if I change the UI scale, that shouldn't affect this, right? No, it doesn't. But I was gonna say it's scaling everything, so it should remain the same relative percentages. Um, yeah. So what's my old screenshot that I had from before I had done this? It broke this in the middle of the word reduction. Okay, so then I should add the soft hyphens in. And yeah, ideally we'd benefit from some space here. But these are just very long words, and we don't have the space. And if we expand this to 320, it's going to make even small tooltips look a lot larger. This is not English. Yeah, like how much health you have. So if we expand this to 500, let's say, then now it's gigantic. I wonder if there's a way to get the behavior that we want for this. Yeah, I don't know. Because ideally, what I'd want to do is just set a maximum size on this. Does it have to be a min width? So the only other thing we could potentially do on that front is we have a max size container that Kevin made, but I don't think Godot supports a max size. I don't even know how we'd find this issue because there's like 1,000 that show up when we search for this. Godot maximum size for a container. I mean, I said a maximum width for a margin container. There's not an easy way. Fits its content to the given size. If you give it 100 pixels, it's best to fit it there. Give it 500, it'll do the same. I mean, I could try throwing this into a max size container, I guess. Max size, whoops, like that. And then we put this in here. And we set its max size to 500. And the minimum size of this to 300. I don't know if this will function. Yeah, I don't know if this will function. It does not seem to. But the reason for that is because the tooltip is actually set to be 300 pixels, right? Set to be 336. I think if we increase this, it would do something maybe. So I'm just increasing it by an arbitrary amount. No, it's still not doing anything. I mean, maybe if I set this to like that and then restarted the whole game. Now it's not going down to 300 when it needs to be. It's just always going to be bigger because I'm changing the panel container. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to do this. So what have I modified in here now? Yeah, just the same stuff as what I had before. There's still one other thing we could potentially do, which I don't think would be easy, but at least it's all controlled by code that I have, which is we could change the tooltip size for certain abilities. Like this one could just be a little bit larger. If I switch to German again, how bad is this? Because I think I'm just going to stop looking at this point. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. Plus, German people are probably used to this from American-made games. Oh, well, I did not see that, probably. Probably not worth the rewrite. How do I get to your original? Oh, there we go. Maybe using a grid container could have been a better choice instead of using BB code tables. Maybe. I wonder if we would have been able to highlight rows in a grid. I guess we can set the background color, so maybe we could have done that. But yeah, I'm not going to bother with it at this point. I think what we will do is I'll add in the soft hyphens for these. So what is this called in English? Fortitude bonus and damage reduction. All right, so fortitude bonus. There it is. And then we go to German. And we put a soft hyphen right there, right? Like this is presumably fortitude. Translate German to English, resistance, sure, whatever. All right, so we put that right there. Soft hyphen, save and stay, and make sure in the history that's correct. What's that? What's that like giant red box right there? All I did is add a soft hyphen, right? Huh, that's strange. All right, well, whatever. And then what's the other one called? Damage reduction? There. Now we find German. And we put another soft hyphen there. Save and stay. And look at the history. Yeah, again, I put a weird giant box there. I don't know what that's about. Okay, and then we're good, right? Oh, man. Yeah, German has a lot of those compound words. I bet if we went into like French and looked at all these things. Well, and then saved and loaded. I bet we would not have that issue. Yeah, I'm just looking super fast to see if any of these tables look like they go beyond the bounds. No, they don't. These ones at least take up all the space, but there's no like weird hyphenation or anything. I never thought this would be a problem. You know, there is another way we could tackle this. We could just change what the skill description is. Whoa, that's really long. It still fits at least. Yeah, so yep, that's the same problematic tooltip, but in French it's not problematic. And I don't see any other problems here. Okay, yeah, everything's great. Wow, look at that. Just German. Just German. We can try Portuguese as well. Yeah, I doubt any of these are going to be an issue. Plus, as long as there are spaces, it'll just go on to 2 lines. And I've never cared about that. That's totally fine. It's not even like a potential problem. It's just exactly what should happen. Yeah, so far so good. Yep. Yeah, no problem over here. Portuguese has generally shorter words than German for these anyway. But yeah, nice. All right, I'm done looking through these. I don't care about the rest. Whatever, if there's a problem, there's a problem. Save. The name is broken. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. That's another issue. That's, where is that? That's down here somewhere. Yeah, these. Adventure display names need custom font sizes. So that comes from here, party member base. And I've only done it for a couple, like the German spirit caller, French spirit caller. So at some point I need to put in like Portuguese and some other ones here. and then it shouldn't be an issue. Hey, Matt. We don't have, actually, maybe we do have all the translations for the adventurer names by this point. So maybe I could do that. And yeah. Thank you, Ski. Okay, so we're going to check this in. This was a gigantic pain. And this should not be checked in. Absolutely gigantic pain. All to get 2 lines. This took me, what, like 2 hours? Yeah, probably 2 hours. My goodness. Okay, so fix table highlight issue. Fixes this. I believe this is just a Godot bug for which I filed. Where's the thing I filed? This. I ended up filing 2 Godot bugs during this process. This one and this one. As far as we're concerned, there are 2 fixes here. Using wrap smart, or wait, no, word smart wrapping rather than just word, and using soft hyphens for German column names. Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm writing. My goodness. I joined Cakes. I never remember the numbers after Cakes' name. Cakes 77. Yeah. I joined Cakes 77's Discord because Cakes offered to play the game, and I wasn't even planning on like doing anything there, but someone wrote a comment about, actually, I'll just show the thread. Where is this? Okay, here it is. So this person said, just catching up on the stream, wanted to share my 2 cents on localization, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I'll just chime in. And I talked about Weblate and everything. Where was I going with this? I've already forgotten. Oh, yeah. That's right. Matt's comment. Okay, so yeah, learn multiple languages fluently and you can always find work. So I chimed in about Weblate and everything, and then someone posted down here somewhere. So this is a little bit confusing how they wrote this, but they said, I recommend heavily relying on LLM translations. Grok was amazing for me. I paid for 2,000 strings and additional templates, emails to real people, which cost me 1/4 of what an agency was asking. And all I had to do was go directly to translators, and essentially no one abided by the rules I set out. And then they said, I've solely relied on Grok, and it was flawless. Better than Google Translate. I'd never pay humans for translations anymore. It's a waste of money and time. So this was an interesting comment to me. I did not try Grok, but for someone to say like, I wouldn't even use human translators was surprising. But the second surprising thing to me, and this must have always been a problem in all of history, is the no one abided by the rules I set out. Like, you pay an agency and the like one thing they're supposed to do, they don't do well. Well, that's not the one thing. I mean, I guess they translated, but they just didn't translate everything correctly. But yeah, it feels like this is exactly the problem I mentioned with getting publishers as an indie dev, which is an ideal publisher is someone who is going to market your game, maybe localize it, maybe provide resources, maybe provide direction if you need it, or anything else. And that's the ideal publisher. You don't know you're hiring an ideal publisher ahead of time. So you might hire a publisher who claims to do all of these things and then drops the ball on all of them. Yeah. So like I said, that's always been a problem in human history, right? You get someone to do something and they don't do it well, and that's never going to change. But it's particularly frustrating when you have a big project you've been working on and you put your eggs in some basket. Okay, so this is done. And you know what I should do? I should actually write the links to these two issues. While investigating this, which took like 2 hours, I filed 2 Godot issues. This one, let's copy the title. And what's the other one? Soft hyphens. There. Cool. How do you validate it, translate it perfectly? That's the same question with the agencies. If you're good with a language and you have a good rep, you'll still be needed to validate the LLM output. Hopefully, maybe not. Maybe I'll just become barbers. So yeah, this is something that you pretty much can't do if you don't know the language. And yeah, whether it's an agency or not. And I think the way you end up finding out is via players. And that's pretty much it. Or you get some like friend to help you out or something, right? But yeah, you wouldn't have a way of validating this. That's a pretty unique problem with translating to other human languages. Hey, LW7SH. Is it short for like last wish? I'm curious what your name means. All right, customers try to buy from displays with held items. Set duration in fly functions to 20. Then I let workers stock the shops. Okay, let's go take a look at this. Or maybe you know someone from the country, the language is native, and ask them to test it. Yeah, but what I'm saying is you need to either learn the language from scratch to fluency, or you need to involve another person. There's no way otherwise you can validate this. Whereas if you said to an AI something like, make me a calculator, even if you don't know coding, you're eventually going to get a calculator out of it, right? So like if I open this up, and you could just be like, okay, is 9 times 9 what I expect it to be? Oh, it is. And you can't validate the entirety of math using this thing. You're not going to test every single calculation that exists. But like you know enough about math to be able to test this yourself or to run it through something else. You can't do that with a human language if you don't understand the language. Like it can spit something out and you'll be like, I don't know, maybe that's good, maybe it's not. Oh, I like Last Wish, but not in English. Last Wish is pretty nice. Transaction overall was 10x faster and cheaper, especially in Europe. It's a pain. I don't know what Crowdin is, but I'm guessing it's a crowdsourced translation thing. Yeah. Yeah, this is probably similar to Weblate. Oh, wait, no, it's AI powered. Never mind. Yeah. Okay, so fly functions. Set max flight duration to 20. I guess we can just ignore the max and just set duration to 20. And then what? Customers jittered. This isn't worth fixing for 2 reasons. It should be brief. I think the problem is probably widespread. Consider a combination of has item and is held for whether an item can be picked up. I'm guessing that worked fine because only one item can be held at a time. Whether or not an item was being held can only change with user input. Oh boy. Try to target item displays that contain held items. Cause them to show up to the display and try to buy it, failing in the process when they realize that it's held. In rare occasions, a customer may target the display again. So when an item. Okay, so let's go test this out now. We're in English, and we're in an otherwise clean branch area. Oh, whoops! No, I'm checking in the main. Oh, whoops. Well, should probably have made a branch. All right, well, I might as well just push that then, right? Because it's going to mark something is done. This 115 issues, push. Now we are down to 111. Definitely shouldn't have done that on main. Let's do a get checkout dash P. More to do item 7. Sure. Okay, what are we looking at now? So we go start a game and put some potions down, but they take a really long time to get there. So I do this, and I click, and I speed this up. And I try dropping a potion. Let's save. So it's going to take 20 seconds to get there. They're going to try to go get this, I think. They don't jitter anymore. Maybe it's once it's already there and then I move it. What's going on? I don't think this is a problem anymore. I don't see anything weird happening. They try to pursue it, which is okay. But most of the time, it wouldn't take 20 seconds to fly in. It'd take 0.6 seconds. Like, they probably... Are new ones pursuing it? I think they are. Yeah, okay, that's probably an issue then. They shouldn't pursue held items. Yeah, I think that's it. This should be pretty simple then, right? Customer, wander, run by check. How do we check to see if they even can do something? Consider buying. Buy item. Should be a find item in here somewhere. Seek specific target. Seek any target. Here we go. Get occupied item displays. But then we want to filter out ones that where the item is not held. We know it's occupied, so we don't need to do this. Yeah, that's it. So it's not just occupied, it's like possible item displays. Or candidate displays or something like that. And that's it. That should fix the bug. So if someone was already pursuing it and you picked it up, they'd still pursue it, which is okay because you might drop it in that time. At least they're not jittering around, but now they won't seek it out if it was picked up before they made it there. So I'm going to speed this up a bit, and then we're going to pick this up and drop it off. And now we speed it up. So the ones that were already pursuing it are still going to go over there, I think. Oh, they're doing this like weird. Like stopped for a pixel. But yeah, new ones are not going over to it. And now they'll come over to it. But I'm going to pick it up again. Yeah, everything looks fine. And they move away as soon as I pick it up. Okay, yeah, I think this is good. And remember, this is with it set to a very, very large number. If we set it to a tiny number, you shouldn't really notice anything now. Except that customers won't try to seek out an item that you picked up. Yeah, so I grant a bunch of customers, I pick this up, and I speed it up a lot. Yeah. So they should never just like walk directly to that thing, or if they do, it's just coincidental. Yeah, none of them are seeking it out, it looks like. But they are doing this weird like stop and move again that's pretty subtle. Because they enter by item. Wait. Why are they entering by item though? Oh, it's just random chance that they enter it. Choose shop to buy from. Get shop with item. Oh, okay, that's our problem. And it's only ever called from here. Has item display with item. Is this only ever called from that? It is. With available item. Let's change it to that. Has item display with item. What? Why are there so many of these things? Available. There. That should do it. That should stop us from even entering this state. Okay. Well, that was a little bit more involved than I thought, but I think that's good now. I see. We still do that way? Like main menus or important translations are confirmed by people? Huh. Yeah. Yeah, man. All right, so what am I doing? Granting 1 million customers, speeding this up, and then just clicking this, and we should not see them stop for even a pixel. I think something happened there, but in general, they look like they're moving smoothly. Some will idle occasionally, so like those are stopped at the top. Those are fine. But then as soon as I let go of this, now someone should come over and buy it. Yeah. I want someone to run over to this, and then, oh, yep. I wanted to try to pick it up before they make it there, though, which is probably possible and just difficult. Huh. I can't scroll anymore. Is this a mouse problem? Something weird happened. I can't right-click this. No, I can. Never mind. I'm being dumb. Okay, so we put this over here. We wait for someone to walk over to it. There they go. And then we pick it up. Perfect. Put this down. Wait for someone to walk over to it. Pick it up. Okay, great. Went on forever. I don't miss it all. Yeah, what was nice about Weblate is we could add in screenshots for a lot of these things. So I don't remember how you find this exactly. Yeah, I don't remember how you find this. Well, what is going on? I think something's messed up with this mouse. Or something weird is happening. Well, like, what is this on the left side? This looks like some browser thing, not even Weblate. What is... Just turn off the mouse and turn it back on? I can't tell if this is a mouse problem or not. Oh yeah, definitely a mouse problem. That's gonna mess me up doing game dev and being like, oh, left click doesn't work on that. Must be a Godot problem. And it turns out to literally just be the mouse. And I'm not impressed by this thing. All right, what was I doing before I just forgot about all that stuff? The screenshots. I don't know where those are though. Can I search for like has screenshot? Yeah, weird. I don't know where that is. Okay, well, I know it exists. And I'd love to have found it, but I can't find it. Strange. Yeah, strange. Or Andre, I'll never use a cordless mouse again. It's a wireless mouse sort of thing. Hey, Cypher. Took so many screenshots. It was such a chore. You know, it'd be less of a chore for me in Weblate if that paste screenshot thing actually worked. But it doesn't for some reason. The code exists. It worked for me one time. But if I go into some like random thing here and click add screenshot, if I have a screenshot on my clipboard, it should show a paste button here, but it just doesn't. And I don't know why. I never figured that out. it exists. We've looked at the code for it. There's a reason why they hide it, but it didn't seem to matter here. Or be relevant, I should say. So wait a second. Why do we do this then? Get occupied item displays. Don't we have a function right here? Has item display with available item. Oh, this doesn't actually return it. Oh, that was maybe stupid. If we just had this return something, then this wouldn't have to be a Boolean. Hey, Axel. Dedicated UI just for clipboard. Have you tried it or heard about it? No, I don't think so. Would that solve this problem? Because this problem is a specific thing for Weblate, right? Like it would need to pull from the clipboard. Unless somehow Opera like surfaces what's on the clipboard as a file on your hard drive. But even that would, I'd still need to like find it and navigate to it. It's a controller issue within the mouse. Had to replace it. Wow. Can I have a link imager here? Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I think we should probably change this. This is only ever used in this one spot. Get random shop with item. And this is only ever used from here. And we get the shop. I don't care. I don't care about this. I'm being very nitpicky. It doesn't matter. Stop customers from finding displays, from finding held items. Fixes this. Just a simple addition. Simple check we had to add. Yeah. Okay. This is the URL. It's a screenshot with UI from Opera with clipboard latest screenshot. Oh, a clipboard manager is what you're talking about, right? Yeah. So I'm familiar with those. My problem was that Weblate has a feature built in, which is not working for me, which basically works like this. If clipboard contains an image, like show use clipboard image button, like this, it's an application specific thing. So if I have something on my clipboard and I click whatever this, like add screenshot, I don't want to have to choose it for my file system. And there is a button that can show up here. It just doesn't show up for me. And I don't know why. And it's really frustrating because instead I end up having to save everything, but I can't just save it through here because I have a lot of private screenshots. So what I do is I copy it into Affinity and then I press the save button up here and then give it a file name. And it's like, that's all a waste of time. And I'd love to not have to do that. Yeah. So my snipping tool can save a screenshot, but then the problem is I save personal screenshots as well. And every once in a while, there's personally identifying information there that I don't want to show on stream. So instead I go through a third program to make sure I don't do that. Have you tried a cache reset or use another browser? Yeah, I tried on another browser, I'm pretty sure. I was trying on Firefox when this happened. Anyway. Okay, so active spells. What's going on with this? Here. We set up a color. We add in the tooltip. Then we put a new line. Why is the new line there? So if I build this, I need to cast every spell. Which requires the extractor, really? Oh god, I don't have the money. I'm running out of time. There's only 30 seconds per spell. Okay, there. All right, now save. And this is what it looks like now. We're going to delete the new line and then run this again. Are there any JS errors? I'm not sure. I need to check again. But I mean, even if there are, it's going to be something like application thing that they'd presumably need to fix a bug somewhere. Although I think Weblate's open source. Maybe I could fix it. Oh, that's weird. That didn't seemingly change anything. Maybe we do this somewhere else. This is only in spell tooltip formatter. That's strange. That's not even being hit. Oh, because I deleted the new line and then added it back in. Game dev, am I right? I sure love developing games. I actually do love developing games. It's just there is a lot of tedium in launching something. All right, so what do we have here? I'd like to see this written out somewhere else. There we go. All right. So active spells, a new line, UL, a new line, then a whole bunch of stuff, and then one new line at the end. And I tried removing that. It didn't really do anything. So where does this go? What calls this? Here? And then this? We add 2 new lines and then say click a spellbook to cast a spell. And then we add new lines and put in this information. Where's the screenshot I took? That's 2 new lines? Mana guidance? Why just delete this? Coming from the guy that does it almost every day of the week. Yeah, I like the majority of game dev, but then there are just some like tedious or frustrating days or tasks that I don't know, like none of this stuff that I'm doing today is really going to move the needle a whole lot. And yet I think it's worthwhile, especially if it doesn't take a lot of time. Yeah, so here what I think I want is this. I want there to just be one new line there. And I think this would look better, but I don't think it would look better in a particular case. So I got to figure out what case it is that this looks bad in. And it's probably, okay, I know why now. Yeah. So this looks fine, but as soon as all these spells run out, it's going to look bad. Let's just wait. I sped it up by 5x, so we don't need to wait as long. Yeah, okay, I see. So this is what I want now. So this is all spells are inactive. We'll put this here. All spells are inactive. And if all spells are inactive, then text plus equal a new line. And that's it. But this is done irrespective of what happens above it, right? Yeah, there are no side effects of this. We're just setting variables. So I could just done this up here. In which case now what we could do is we could add another new line here and have everything just be fine. And everything should be great. Let's go try it. Yeah, nice. I like this. This is good. So continue. We should see no like giant blank space there. Yep, that looks pretty neat. And now we'll speed this up a lot. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. All right, unfortunately, that doesn't close an issue. It's just something I noticed when I was playing. Fix extra blank space when spells are active. This is in the tooltip that shows when hovering over the mana crystal. And the change is pretty easy, right? Yeah. Oh, I guess we could have just left this how it was, because I don't end up using that condition anywhere else. There. And actually, technically, this could have stayed where it was too. And that way we don't poison the diff anymore. So if I put this down here, now the only changes that it looks like it did is I moved a new line from there to there. Yeah, that's the most reasonable thing. Yeah, nice. Much cleaner. All right, commit it. Simply add a new line to a text menu and somehow break the entire game. I feel that way sometimes. But in this case, everything's pretty contained. So the worst thing we could have done is just mess up the spacing. All right, this bug should be pretty easy to fix. The current FPS limit doesn't auto-translate when changing languages. All right, what does it look like in English? Off. Okay, so let's go to Game Settings menu and search for off. Here it is. This is value changed, and then set the FPS limit text. Okay, so we're just going to do this. We're going to say, oh, we need to get the current text though. Okay, let's copy this out of here. Private void set FPS limit label. And the value is what? An int? Limit? Yeah. Nice. And then we don't need this int here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Hey, Vibe how you doing? And then where do we call that? Right here. So what is the value? A double? Oh, that's unfortunate. Because then I can't just do this. I have to do value set int value. It's not that bad though. And then when you change the translation change, we need to set the value of this to local settings saver dot. Actually, we could just get it from the FPS thing, right? Yeah, that should work. Just made myself a super yummy latte. Practicing my latte art skills. Ooh, nice. How's everything going? 42 days. Things are going well. We're making progress. I feel like there's no shortage of stuff to do. Yeah. And yeah, that just sums up how I feel. There's no shortage of stuff to do. Okay, so here it says off. If I change now to French, yeah, it says it's like deactivated, I guess. And then if I change the number here, so it says 130, and I change back to English, it says 130, perfect. I know 130 doesn't need to get localized, but I wanted to make sure I didn't mess up the get the current value thing. So perfect, cool. Yeah, it's just because it looked a little bit bad when one word would be in a different language there. What time is it for me? It's 11:50 in the morning. There's always that other thing you can do to make it perfect. Just because being engineers at heart, we want to push for excellence. Yeah, you know what? I still kind of struggle with this to some extent in a particular case, which is you have, let's say you're, I don't know, 50% through making a game and you want to release a demo. You are necessarily not done with a game. And in a lot of ways, everyone would agree, like, oh yeah, that's missing, that's missing, that's missing. I struggle with, like, how do we just put that out there knowing that it's not done and let people have the right expectations for everything? So it's hard when you're at a point where, like I said, everyone would agree that you're not finished. But when you're at 98% done, a lot of people would just say, yeah, you're done. Like, all these little things are fixing now. Oh yeah, this didn't turn into English when you swap the language. Like, who cares? So I'm still kind of struggling a little bit with, like, when do I reach out to press and the bigger influencers? Because today is February 3rd. We're launching on the 17th of March. If I share keys now and someone plays now, then they won't have any updates that I end up doing between now and launch. Maybe they hit some bug, it makes it in their YouTube video, 100,000 people see it, and yet I gotta eventually share the keys. So yeah. The thing that's most worrisome here is, let's say I were to upgrade Godot, for example. I need to keep this on a separate branch so that I can release it to playtesters and not have it poison influencers or anything. Yeah, launching on St. Patrick's Day. Okay, well, this has been fixed. Fix issue with FPS label not changing languages. Switching from English to French would still show off instead of the French word. Okay, pretty easy fix. Does it come out on Steam? Yeah. Steam and itch. Okay, so that's finished. And now this bug, I just noticed this yesterday. This is rather unfortunate. So if we make a new game here and we go get the treasure room and we get auto purchasing, then save. Okay, so here's the problem. If you click, wait, no, you need selective loot, do you? Yeah, okay. All right, so this is the problem. If the treasure spirit had a dialogue open and you close it through some other means, you now can never click the treasure spirit again. And I know what's causing this. I don't know the best fix for it. Where is the code for this? On dialogue dismissed in greeting. Treasure? Yeah, here it is. Okay. So I got to figure out what we do about this. The issue that we have is this code right here, on dialogue dismissed. There is a way to dismiss it yourself, and there's a way to have something else dismiss it for you. So if you click the dismiss button, then was replaced will be false. That's what this means. If you explicitly clicked it, then just go back to standby. But if you click change auto purchasing, it's going to also dismiss this, and it's going to think it was replaced. Wait, no, it's not. Oh man, hang on. Sorry, there's some confusing thing that happens here. I see influencers where they play the game for money, even sometimes when the game is in release. I don't know the Steam side of things. How do you get on the Steam star page? Do many people need to play the game after the release? You mean like the front page of Steam? So you just go to Steam, and how do you get there? In general, to make it to one of these things, you need to be like a top selling game or have tons and tons of wish lists or something. I don't think there's a way you like pay to get here or anything. Or maybe Valve picks you. I don't know how you make it there exactly. But like these are games that they think enough people will probably like to have made it here. Every once in a while, the top part will be replaced by a festival. So for example, FPS Fest or something, in which case then you can't be Dragon Quest and be on that page. You'd have to be an FPS. And then there are daily deals. I don't think that's this. Yeah, these are just discounts. But somewhere there's daily deals. There's a special way to get into daily deals. But yeah, anything that puts you on the front page, you're going to see your stats go through the roof, I bet. I wonder if we look at popular upcoming, where Skeleseller would even appear in this. Because I bet it is not anywhere anywhere close. Yeah, like how far do we have to scroll down? These are all games in February. Now we're getting to March. So presumably it's... Yeah, there it is. There's Skeleseller. But what entry is this on the list? If we just search for 2026 and then find Skeleseller and then do this, we are number 159. So that should mean that the number of wish lists will be going up more rapidly pretty soon, I think. Like today has not been a killer day for wish lists or anything. We got 37 additions and 3 subtractions, so it's 34 total. I'm hoping this starts going up by like, I don't know, hundreds per day or something. I don't think that's going to happen, but it might. You never know. So yeah, what happens when this gets up the list? Are these chronologically ordered? Because it looks like they are. Yeah, it looks like they are. Most of the popular upcoming lists also take the popularity into account to change the chronological order, but no, all of these are chronological. And it says sort by relevance too, which is kind of surprising. What's this? 187 titles have been excluded based on your preferences. I'm not even logged in. Maybe they're not safe for work games. That might be it. User reviews. 3 games show up? What? Is it because this game has reviews even though it's not out? How is that possible? How is that possible? Well, how are these people leaving reviews? Oh, bought the deluxe edition hoping to play it early. Is that how that happened? Play this, yeah, purchase this edition and play the game now ahead of full release. I've never heard of this. Have I heard of this? Huh. Neat. Okay. Well, that's kind of funny. Popular Upcoming even has a sort by user reviews because literally only 3 games fit into that. One of them has a launch date of 2021. How is this upcoming? What? Oh, man. I don't understand that. These other ones, well, no, even that one doesn't make sense, right? Probably early access. I don't think this is early access, though, right? Oh, this is DLC? Maybe that's why. Yeah. No, that still doesn't make sense, does it? Yeah, I don't think I understand that. Oh, well. All right, so yeah, how do we solve this issue? Dialogue dismissed doesn't get triggered from clicking a different tab, I guess. Let's try that out. Change auto purchasing doesn't call dismiss. Oh no, it'll be that was replaced code will get hit. I click this and it should get hit, and it was replaced is just true, right? Yeah, that's why. All right, so let's write down what's happening here. So when you click change auto purchasing, it dismisses the dialogue with true. When you click a treasure stand, it dismisses the dialogue with true. And when you click dismiss, it dismisses it with false. We only want to transition into standby if you explicitly clicked dismiss. So why don't we just put that in here? No, that's not true. This should put us in standby, but doesn't. This should not put us in standby. And this should put us in standby and currently does put us in standby. Yeah, so I was thinking we add in does transition immediately change the new state? It emits a signal. That signal is presumably caught. And then, yeah, we probably change the state. So we could just check here. Yeah, we just transition regardless. Or like check if, can we check the current state? I don't think we can. No, because it's only a signal going out of the state. This thing doesn't know the state machine that it's in. Oh boy. All right, well, there's another way we can handle this, which is like private bool should transition to standby. And then we set it to false here. And then this. So this should actually start as true. But that's going to break going to the next greeting, isn't it? Yeah, I think it will. So we should probably also set that to false there. And then I think that'll fix this, but this is a really sloppy solution. We should have some way of handling branching dialogues. This is the only branching dialogue we have in the entire game, though. Oh, that does work somehow. How does that work? I don't know how that works. I fixed everything somehow. I just don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand how that part works. We transition into greeting, which apparently doesn't call dismissed. Let me put some breakpoints there. What is this? It's false. How is it false? What? Oh, because when you enter the state, oh my God. Okay, no, this is very tricky. Wow. Yeah, when you enter the state, should transition to standby should be true. Okay, so now, yeah, I was only working out of coincidence. But then why didn't I see a different breakage if that was always set to false afterward? Very weird. I don't have an explanation for that. So we click go on, that works. We dismiss this, that works. We click change auto purchasing. We interrupt it with another dialogue. All of this seems to be working and it still shouldn't be working, right? I don't understand. I don't get it. Let's try this again. We click go on, we transition to this, and we call on dismiss dialogue. Should transition to standby is true. So we transition to standby, and yet we're not in standby. Maybe this transition does nothing? I don't see any errors. That's not good. What's happening? It's so strange. I put a breakpoint here and we click broken immediately. Oh, because there's some other state machine that's getting hit. Oh man, this is gonna be forever then. No. All right, so we need to check for new state name here, or for it to. Yeah, we need a conditional breakpoint. New state name equals standby, or new state name equals greeting to. I don't know if those are supposed to be capitalized or not though. No, they're, or sorry, yes, they are. I was saying no to, did I capitalize them correctly? Standby greeting to, okay, good. So now it won't break in constantly, but if I click this button, it will. And here we go. So we go into transition. We set the current state to the new state, and then we emit a signal that we have changed states. Then we go into standby, apparently, which should trigger this. It does. And we set that as the new state. That doesn't seem good. So we override this to transition to greeting. But then how are they in the greeting to state as well? Dialog option pressed. This is very tricky. I think I see what's going on. I think we're in both the standby state and we somehow have the greeting to showing. So if I click this again. So this is not what I expected. How does this work for other characters? Like if we click the farmer, and we click the farmer again while it's open. This is the same logic. So this makes no sense what I just did. Let's go do this. Git stash. So now we're on the old logic again. And I want to see what used to happen. Because I don't recall. And I don't remember it being a problem. So I go back to here. No, it just restarts the dialogue. What? How does that work? Farm greeting. Because you preempt it by going back into standby. Okay, okay, okay. I understand. Yeah, this is tricky. So it doesn't really matter what state the NPC is in. Was that tool in VS where you were seeing where the code goes? That looks very useful. The debugger? Let me load that up and show you again. Hang on a second though. Let me think of what I was doing. Oh yeah, this git stash pop. Yeah, so the debugger is really helpful in pretty much any IDE, and it doesn't have to be part of the IDE. It could be an external tool that you use. But in general, what you do is you set a breakpoint by clicking somewhere here. And then when your code hits that breakpoint, so for example, when we dismiss our first dialog, so if I click here and then hit dismiss, it breaks into the code, and now we can see what values are here. We can change them if we want to. We can go through the code step by step. Oh, you're just talking about going to a definition by pressing F12? Because, yeah, there's just a right-click, go to definition. I'm not sure what you were talking about exactly, but I'm happy to answer. I would just put a delay of 3 to 5 to 7 seconds between clicks of the same NPC. This is not a spam thing, just to be clear. The problem that we had originally is you would click this, you could wait an hour if you want to, and then if you click this, you'd never be able to talk to this NPC again. So this was not a time-based repro. The new thing that I'm talking about here is when you have one of these dialogues open and you click them again, any amount of time can pass in between these. You could wait an hour. When you click them again, it should just pop up that same dialogue again. What's interesting now is that we're in the greeting state, and in the greeting state, we can't click this NPC. Yeah, so the tricky thing here is that we're in the standby state, but with a dialogue showing from the greeting to state. Clicking a button in that dialogue will properly change states. Clicking the NPC will spawn a new dialogue, though. I'm not actually sure we want that. Probably watch a video on useful VS Code tips or something. Thanks for showing me. Yeah, I think the debugger is great. And I think the most basic things that you'd want to learn with it is how to set a breakpoint, like how to launch it, I guess, how to launch the debugger. How to set a breakpoint, and then how to view variables, and how to just step through code. And it's really everything I just showed you. So the way I launch it is just by launching my game, but that's a bit trickier than that. I have a launch.json file, but then setting a breakpoint is just clicking over here, wherever you want. And then stepping through and viewing variables is just you hover over stuff, or you use the sidebars over here, and stepping through is these buttons at the top. And that's it. Those are the most important things. Beyond that, you get into things like, okay, the advanced things would be like conditional breakpoints that you might want, or yeah, going through the call stack, or what you do when you're trying to debug certain cases where, like, let's say you want to detect certain mouse movements. It's like, well, the mouse moves probably 400 times for me to get from here to here. So if you broke in, you'd be breaking in like once every pixel that you move. So instead, you need to have some like logic probably in your code to check, oh, only when I move by enough, or when I touch this button or something. Hey, Supportic. And yeah, console log, any printing, I think, has its place, especially in those cases where you have like 100 events happening per second and you want to find the anomalous one. Sometimes just printing it is good enough. Okay, so do I want to change this behavior? I think I kind of do. So I think we want to not transition to standby in these cases. But this is just for the treasure spear. Doesn't every character have their own greeting class that's doing this exact same thing? No. But then why can you click the NPC again? Because we're replacing the dialogue. But how are you in that state? It doesn't make sense. Oh, because maybe the farmer always lets you click them and they don't have a state machine for that. All right, well, I don't care about that. As long as we fix the treasure spirit, I think this is fine. I haven't used Unreal Engine, so I don't know that one. Okay, so now let's try everything that we had here. If I click the treasure spirit, it does nothing. That's fine, because we already have the dialogue open. If I click go on and click the treasure spirit again, it does nothing. But if we click dismiss and open it again, it works. If I click something else, it forces it to dismiss, and then clicking this works. Click change auto purchasing. Excuse me, everything looks like it's working there. We should be able to actually turn on auto purchasing. We should be able to turn it off. We do this, we open the treasure chest. We get to the end of the dialogue here, yeah. I think we fixed it all. So I just need to write a comment here. The treasure spirit is has the only branching dialogue in the game. One branch is for teaching you how it works, and the other is for changing auto purchasing. As a result, we can't just always transition to standby when the dialogue is dismissed. And we also can't check. Yeah. That's probably good enough. All right, so all we changed is what, like 4 lines of code and then the comments, which was another 5. So we should have +9 at the end here. Yeah, +9. All right, so fix bug with treasure spirit dialogues. Repro was click the treasure spirit. You didn't even need to have anything special, right? Hang on a second. Okay, let's stash this and let's try this one last time just to make sure I understand what the repro used to be. We got to quit this. I don't think we needed any special perks, whereas originally I thought we needed auto purchasing, but I think that's a red herring. I think we can just make a new game. Click this and this, that, and now we can't click this anymore. Yeah. Let's stash pop. Okay, good. So click the treasure spirit. Click a treasure stand. At this point, you can no longer interact with the treasure spirit because why? Because you wouldn't be in the standby state, which is what accepts clicks. Could I have fixed this in a better way? Oh, man. Well, I don't know. I don't really care. I fixed it. That's all that matters. All right. Wow. I spent almost 4 hours. I did not take a break despite my list telling me I should be taking more breaks. I thought about it and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I think I have messed up. Oh, we got a lot done. All right, so how many issues are we down to now? None of these actually count. Because what did we do on this branch? Nothing that fixed an issue. 4 commits. Do any of these say fix something? In the message, I mean. That one wasn't there, that one wasn't there, that one wasn't there. That one was there. So we're down by 1 extra issue. Yeah, fixes 805. All right, so we're at 109 issues. Backlog again, got to 109 issues. I had also done some work like last night after the stream ended. So it's not like I had done with 17 of these today. But yeah, 109 issues. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Wednesday, I take the day to focus entirely on making content, YouTube shorts. So no stream. Because I can't keep just like tackling bugs and bugs and bugs and bugs. I got to do some other stuff at some point. And I think this is actually more helpful than tackling these bugs. So yeah, I think whenever we get back to streaming, whenever I'm back to streaming, let's just copy all of this stuff. Well, not the afternoon stuff. That's still for today, huh? Have there been any new Skeleseller videos that I haven't seen? Oh, hey, Benji uploaded. I reached out to this person. They did a no commentary play, but they said they had a really good time. I am going to definitely watch this over lunch. I will link it into chat because the more people who watch this stuff, the more it signals that people enjoy Skeleseller content. So I'll check that out. But yeah, no other videos. But yeah, I've been waiting for this one to drop. You could report yourself. I could. You should write a note to increase the font size on take more breaks every time you think about taking a break and you don't. Yeah, or I should just have my bot yell at me or something. I don't know. Today, one of the weird things about today is it was one of those like problem A scenarios where I'm yak shaving all over the place. And we filed these couple of Godot issues, which I hope they're considered real issues. Oh, hey, nice. Added bug and GUI issue triage. Huh, where's the other thing that I filed? I could find it through here because I linked to both of them through this. That was the first one, and this is the second one. Yeah, this one has not been looked at yet. This one was actually, I think, possibly more important. Yeah. Anyway, I've been working for too long. It's 12:20. I'm going to go get lunch. I will not be back until at least Thursday, I think. Like I said, I want to make content on YouTube. I think this is really beneficial for marketing. You pretty much have either do marketing yourself by making yourself the content beacon or find other people to do it, either through ads or through influencers or something. All right, well, let's go find someone to raid. You know what? Torque is in here a decent amount. Let's go raid Torque. Thank you all for watching. If you'd like to join my Discord, there's a link. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. I'll see you again in probably a couple days. Maybe just on Friday, though. I want to see how long I spend making YouTube shorts. Bye, everyone.